world right now. We're coming at you live at the grand finals, the final day in the third place match of Games of Future Mobile Legends. I'm super excited to be here. My name's Trex, and join with me is G, the Ico. It's gonna be a monumental day today. How you feeling, G?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for the introduction. Again, G, the Ico here. I can't wait to see these grand finals in this third place take place. It's going to be definitely an amazing day. But without further ado, I believe we'll be jumping into a video here.
Мощнейшая энергия созидания, способная объединять народы, вселенные и сохранять баланс мироздания. С развитием технологий люди стали больше погружаться в виртуальные миры, забывая про мир физический, обрекая гармонию на угасание. Чтобы восстановить баланс, гармония переродилась жар-птицей мира. Мира отправилась сквозь вселенные в поисках героев, способных вернуть утраченную энергию. Избрав 5 сильнейших представителей, Мира собрала их у Куба Советов, наделив их уникальной силой. Они стали хранителями гармонии, чья задача – охранять и поддерживать баланс. Советом было принято решение провести турнир, победитель которого распространит гармонию по свету. Для этой цели Куб преобразовал частицу гармонии во флейм, древний артефакт для сбора энергии. Хранителями было выбрано место для проведения турнира – город с самым сильным соприкосновением энергии. Именно здесь миллионы зрителей и сильнейшие атлеты примут участие в величайших играх всех времен, чтобы определить достойнейших и восстановить баланс миров. Да начнутся игры!
All right, G, with introductions out of the way. Hold on, man. This looks great, G. I just want to say real fast, you're looking fresh, you're looking clean. I love it. And with introductions out of the way, here we are, back again on the final day of Games of Future. Now, it's not just going to be a grand finals match today. We're going to kick things off with the third place match, because the big difference about this bracket and so many other international brackets that we've seen before is this was not double elimination. Every game was high stakes. Every game, each team had to put it all on the line, and it has been a very competitive past week. It has been a very competitive several days with several teams competing with all of their hearts, but now we are down to the final four to see the final placements of today, G.
Yeah, and I mean, the teams have been fighting their way through the upper and the lower, technically, of their group stages, and I can't believe what we've seen in this tournament, to be honest. It's, you know, the teams have definitely kept us on our toes and have definitely pulled out some crazy picks, but I mean, hey, what did they do? They kept it entertaining for us.
I mean, and you mentioned crazy picks. This has definitely been a very interesting meta. A lot has changed since last year. A lot has changed since M Series. In literally every lane, from Mage to Roam to Jungle to EXP lane to Gold lane, especially Gold lane, when we've seen some interesting picks this tournament. And one of the great things I feel like about this tournament is teams haven't been scared to think outside of the box and bring something different to try to get the upper advantage. And it's always kind of been a balance of sticking to the basics and trying to push the envelope. So I'm really wondering, with now the stakes at its highest, with us, we're going to be competing for third place, and we're going to be competing for a total first place, $350,000 to the winner, a total of $1 million prize pool, everything on the line, like I said. Are these teams going to finally be willing to really push the envelope?
See, and I've always suspected that, like, we're getting to the nitty and gritty, right? Like, this is the moment that the teams, like, reveal everything, right? Like, if you're in the grand finals, this is your moment to pull that trick right out of the hat and just, you know, blow the other team away. And again, third place match, I mean, we got RRQ Hoshi versus Flux Esports. we were surprised by Flux Esports, right? Taking out Blacklist International, huge deal, huge upset in the Digital Games of the future. So I want to, I mean, you can expect anything from this tournament. So we'll see if RRQ Hoshi can take on Flux, and we'll actually see if AP.Bren can take on ONIC or vice versa, right?
Let's start with the beginning, right? Because the beginning, it's going to be RRQ up against Flux. And you said, can RRQ take on Flux? And the same question goes back and forth. Can Flux take on RRQ? Because these teams have not gotten to meet each other yet. They were in different groups. They were in different part of the bracket. And that's another interesting thing about not having the double elimination bracket. Normally, by the time you get to this stage, some of the top teams have already seen each other once in battle. This time, Flux and RRQ, all they have is the information from the games that they can watch. They haven't actually gone toe-to-toe just yet. And honestly, I put these teams at a pretty similar level. Neither team was able to beat neither team was able to beat ONIC, neither team was able to beat AP.Bren. And now we're seeing I think they're both amazing teams. I think had they played a little bit differently, they maybe could have been in that grand final spot. I mean, the possibilities are there. RRQ yesterday was able to take a singular game off of AP.Bren before losing the other two. Flux, though, was unable to take a single game off of ONIC, just not able to keep up. So, can Flux do it? But we're going to be jumping right in the stage. I love it. We're not wasting any time, G. Normally we're sitting here for a little bit. The team's getting ready. We gotta just drown on. But today, these teams are prepared. This is going to be one of the most important days of this tournament for all four of these teams. And once again, we get a great look at this stage.
Look at the fog shooting up. My question is, do they go around the trophy again? We're fighting for third place. It's not fighting for the trophy, right? So I wonder how the entrance
grand
is
in the middle of the stage. They're just going to put a big duffel bag of money in the middle.
Put a little stack there.
I don't see the trophy right now, so you might actually be right. Since they're not competing for the trophy, they might have taken off. But let's take a look at the teams that are competing for third place. It's RRQ. We got Banana, definitely a player to keep our eyes on. Octa as well. Excited to see these guys play. Clay, lastly, Brusco, who is one of the more recent imports, a player that a lot of us have been questioning how he's going to do on the roam. Skylar in the gold lane. And then last but not least, one of the players I was Clay came next. I thought we already saw Clay. Irad, finally. The player that I was a big fan of when he played in RSG as the jungler, got imported over to Indonesia, the new jungler for RRQ, and I think has been one of the stars of the team. Now let's welcome RRQ to the main stage, G.
I love it. I love it. I mean, look at there's actually quite a bit of fans here too, even for the third place. So it's cool to see. They are gonna rock and view the trophy, kind of like a sad, I don't know, something. That's rough. That's rough.
Not sad. They're here. They played.
Know.
You're bringing down the vibe, G. You're bringing down the vibe.
Listen, if I was in front of that trophy,
we could never
I'd be like, tear. But without further ado, next up will be Flux Esports. We got Sunshine, Apex 47. Feel like Flux is coming out faster than RRQ.
Nope, they got you. Rosa in the mid.
I'm telling you, Rosa's actually been insane. Alien as well. And then they're showing Apex again and Rosa. And then you got TNZ here. He was really good last time, so let's see if he can bring it back again. Flux taking down Blacklist International. Can they bring the heat against RRQ?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely huge, right? If they can bring down RRQ, then they've brought down two major powerhouses from two of the most major powerhouse regions, Philippines and Indonesia. So even though they're not competing for first place, they're not competing for that trophy sitting in front of them. They're still competing as kind of putting their name down in history. They already kind of have shown up. A lot of fans are starting to watch them. A lot of fans, they've been building a lot of traction recently. But this is going to be one more test from them. We've taken down one of the best teams in Philippines. Can we take down one of the best teams in Indonesia?
It is true. I mean, do they have the grit? Do they have the tenacity to take on these teams? And I mean, to be honest, Flux has shown that they're here to fight. Though they did have a little bit of a tough time against ONIC, that doesn't mean that that'd be the same case here. Statistically, I mean, you got to think like they took out a Philippines team. Like it's an Indo team that has a little bit of a level up on the RRQ at this point. So I want to see what they can bring against them. I want to see if they can bring something out, crazy. This is the last time they'll be able to battle it out. So this is the moment to use it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, you just said like statistically, Flux has taken out Blacklist, a team that some people would possibly put above RRQ, right? So I think it's very 50-50. I wish we could take like a global stat on where people are placing these two teams. Who is the favorite? Because it's kind of hard to say, man. RQ, we know them. We know they're strong. They were able to take a win against AP.Bren. They're not scared to get a little crazy in their draft. But Flux time and time again has proved naysayers wrong. And you could almost argue that they could be the favorite coming into this match. I think RQ, just because of their history with the fans, with their history with Mobile Legends, with their history in M Series, MSC in the past, some people might say, oh, they have more experience, they've been here a bit longer, they're definitely the favorite. But you could definitely argue that Flux are the new hungry dogs on the corner right now, and they're definitely ready for this.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely hungry dogs for sure. I mean, that's a good word to describe them. But I to be honest, I kind of think it's fallen into their meta, right? Like this is Incendio Supremacy, a mix of some of their players. They were having a little bit of a tough time in M4, but coming back into the Phygital Games of the Future, this was their time to shine. This was their meta. They've taken advantage of it, and they've shown that they have the grit to take out top tier teams, right? And RRQ, I mean, again, they've done exactly the same thing, and they've done it with a little bit of an unorthodox plays every once in a while. I mean, they've definitely been the trend and the viral sensation of the internet.
Yeah, I mean, RQ have been just a mainstay. They're a household name at this point. Whether you love them or hate them, you know them. Flux is still earning that name, and this is just going to be another notch in the belt here if they can take this win. I mean, and that's why even though it's just the third place game, there's still a lot on the line. And then RQ, like, what do they have on the line? Pride. They have, I mean, you have ego, you have those things, you have the fan base that already knows, you're already like, all right, we already came short. We weren't able to take down AP.Bren. If we lose to Flux, if we lose to Turkey here, we got Indonesia on our back. Yes, we still have ONIC representing us, but still, RQ has been known to take some mess-ups before in the past on international stages. This is going to be something that if they want to at least keep their name up there, if they want to still be considered a top-tier team, they're going to have to be able to take on Flux here. So a lot on the line for both teams, and I'm just excited to see how it all goes.
Yeah, and I think one thing to highlight is that just RRQ, like, though they've picked crazy picks and have done some questionable things, they've still like come out on top. And even when they didn't pick anything questionable, they actually brought the fire as well. So personally, in this third place match, I always like the underdog story, Flux, but I mean, right now, I think I would put RRQ a little bit above Flux in terms that they were able to take one game against AP.Bren. Like that alone, no one's taken one game against AP.Bren so to get that, I feel like it's just like you're a little bit higher up on the pedestal when you're coming into Fireflux, and it could be going both ways, right? Like RRQ had the time to be able to, it's kind of like them dropping their weights, right? Like they've fought someone that's a lot stronger, and Fireflux, we'll see if they can handle it,
We are jumping into
right
the
into
draft already. I love this so much right now. I thought we were going to sit here for at least another 10 minutes, but no, here we go, jumping in the draft. And now that we're in the draft, we'll talk about what we're going to see. And RQ Hoshi already kind of switching up from some of the norm that we've seen in the past. They're banning out the Barats immediately, which I like it. Guinevere coming from the side of Fireflux. We were looking at some of the stats before we started the stream, G, and Guinevere is definitely, one of the top win rates with the amount of picks Guinevere has. Yes, there are other heroes with better win rates, but Guinevere has been picked around 25 times or more and still holds a 72-73% win rate in playoffs. I wasn't looking at the group stage at the stats, but in playoffs so far, Guinevere is one of the most picked heroes with a very high win rate.
Yeah, Guinevere's just shown that she's a star player at this point, and most of the time, if it's not banned out in the first phase, the first pick team always picks it. There normally used to be utilities, but as the tournaments went on past group stages into the playoffs, it's definitely shown itself as a viable pick for the first one. RRQ now responding with the R-Lot. I like it. We're seeing RRQ get rid of a lot of utility heroes, and Fireflux kind of responding with the Matilda. So there's a couple things they could possibly go for here. We still have Joy on the field. Joy's been banned quite a bit, so maybe that's a hero that they want to maybe bait out. Navaria, there's so many great picks right now. It could either be banned or picked. Ruby still on the field. I think it just goes to show that they're ready for anything.
But I think also, things do slightly differ depending on the teams. Things do kind of change it up. And Fireflux, I'm kind of surprised by the Barats ban here. I'm wondering, because we haven't seen Fireflux really favor into this. They have picked up some utility junglers, but still it kind of makes me think that maybe RQ wants to put a rat on something a little bit faster moving. Maybe go for something like the Nolan if Fireflux doesn't ban this out. Maybe go for something like the Lancelot for a Rad. We know a Rad likes to pick up those assassin picks. He's not scared to be on something quick moving. It's something that a lot of fans around the world got to know him for. He is probably one of the best Lancelots in the world, point blank, period. So just seeing some of those more bulky heroes banned out, something that can bully me if I pick something squishier like that, it could kind of be tilting the hand to Fireflux and what RQ Hoshi's trying to go for here.
True. And RRQ, it just, to me, seems like they're just banning out a lot of utility. They just don't want to deal with those heroes that can really make plays and control the field. The Nathan getting out of there, if I'm not mistaken, that was utilized to beat AP.Bren. So Fireflux looking to kind of, get rid of it. First pick coming up. We got a lot. They could first pick Joy. They could go a little wild. They could go dashy. That's what the Brats would kind of slow down, but they're going to pick up the Minnow first.
Well, I think either way they get the trade, either way. So my original thought was, Nolan, Joy, right? But they don't have to pick up both, because either way they get the trade. And I highly doubt Fireflux is going to pick up Nolan and Joy here. They pick up the Novaria, and then my guess is they either go for the Nolan or Joy, or they could wait as well and just wait for the trade. Because either way, either team can kind of hold off on that, because if the other team picks one, they can still get one for themselves, unless neither of them on the field.
Yeah, that's why the meta is so wild right now. There's so many good picks. It's just a matter of you utilizing them with certain comps. So, we could see RQ possibly pull out a Benedetta, maybe pull another, just go straight the same draft as AP.Bren against when they faced him. we'll see. I still do like the Nolan pick. I mean, you could go very assassin-y. That you'd be able to actually probably catch the Navaria at that point. There's the Benedetta. I was thinking they were going to run it back.
Either one. Yeah, but they don't go for either one. Are they trying to bait Fireflux into it right here? Is it like, listen, we want you to, it's like, just pick the Joy or Nolan here, man. Just pick it, because they have some sort of answer to it ready. I'm really surprised because Irad had a monstrous Joy in group stage. I mean, like, I forget who they were going up against, but it was just insane the amount of damage Irad was doing even in the early game. So I'm really surprised it's not what they're going for. Again, could be the old bait and bait. They might have a plan ready to go. CC going to get picked up by Alien in the EXP. We saw Alien, even after taking a couple deaths against Blacklist, still be able to scale very well on this CC.
Yeah, I mean, RRQ seems to be not playing around this time around. So, I mean, they're going gung-ho. And, I mean, Fireflux doing exactly the same thing. I mean, they have the poke, the peel. They have a little bit of setting. But to be honest, like, right now, I'm more into RRQ's draft than Fireflux. They do have a couple key picks, which the last two picks could be the make it or break it for the team comp. But, again, there's so much open. Right now, they need to start targeting the gold lane. I mean, they could target the gold lane. Sunshine's actually been a complete menace. I do like the Valentina ban, though. I mean, that could be that they're going to be picking some heroes that they just don't want the mid lane to be stolen. I mean, Nana still available. So you have some good picks. You have Vexana. Like, RRQ still has a lot of loaded picks available.
They also need to ban on the side of RRQ. On the side of Fireflux, we still need a jungler. We still need a gold lane. So RRQ going to kind of hammer into the gold lane since they've already picked up Claude. We take out the Brody. I mean, we take out the Bruno. Maybe we take out the Ixia, something like that. Maybe we, I mean, the, what else? The Clint's become kind of popular. I think it's been more of just RQ picking it up a little bit in the past, or AP.Bren has actually picked it up as well. That's another gold lane pick that is kind of sky rocketed in. There goes the Vexana ban. So this leaves RQ with just, I mean, there goes the Nolan ban. Fireflux will get first pick here, though, right? And both teams still need a jungler. Does Fireflux finally commit and go for the Joy here?
I mean, to be honest, that would be a good hero to be able to catch the Claude. They need something that can definitely pierce the back line, because you're going to be dealing with that Claude quite a bit. And depending on what mage is picked up here, which Fairmiss is still technically open. So if they opted to go Fairmiss, RRQ would just be a tanky comp. And I mean, it would scale really well with the Claude and the Benedetta. So I mean, there's still, again, Nana definitely has one of the highest win rates, so that could still be picked on the field. The Fredrin being picked up, it's good. I mean, they need a little bit of a heavier front line, I would say. The Ruby, you got the Ruby and the Fred, but these next picks I think are going to be pretty crucial for Fireflux.
I mean, overall, Fireflux, pretty simple. A little bit of a front to back, not too divey overall. RQ going to pick up the Basha here, keeping things simple, not risking too much. I feel like both teams just taking a pretty safe approach to it all. And there's the Aurora pick. I think a lot of us expected to see more Aurora this tournament. She did take some slight changes, from where we saw her before into the tournament and everything. So I think I was kind of surprised when we didn't see as much of her, but she still has been viable. She still has made some crazy plays in the playoffs. So in the hands of Octa, excited to see how it goes.
I knew the carry was about to come next. Just they have a tanky setup here with the Bashia pick into the jungle, the carry into the backline. You got two backline heroes, solid backline peel, and then a good frontal defense. So we'll see. RRQ against Fireflux. This is going to be an interesting match. I still personally, even with the boxing and the Aurora pick, even though I think I would rather have seen like a Fairness or something like that, but I guess they're going a little bit more aggressive. So I still like RRQ's comp. I do think Fireflux could fight back here though.
All right. Let's get it started because we are about to jump into the land of Dawn. For the third place match, the first game of the last day of Game of Future. This is going to be RRQ Rex Regum Kaon up against Flux Esports. I'm excited to see how this goes. Lay us down, G. What do you think the win cons are? Who do you think's got the early game? Because we got plenty of time to talk with a quick pause.
I was about to say, I think a win condition here is pause. No. So, I mean, kind of diving into their comps here, right? Like, we have the Basha versus a Fredrin. Again, the Fredrin and the Ruby are more on that healing, the sustain heroes. They're looking to stay alive and just control as much as possible. And I feel like that's where the Basha scales it, right? Being able to roam fast, being able to have that built-in anti-heal really early, I think would be key, especially dealing with a Ruby. So I think that's the win condition for RRQ, is to just kind of keep them at bay, utilize the speed that you have in the jungle, and take control of the map and secure neutral objectives. For the side of Fireflux, though, I feel like they're really going to be the team that tries to bait RRQ out. They want to bait as much utility as they possibly can to then be able to engage. They did pick up the carry, so that's more of a late game marksman. So I would say that we'll see Fireflux do a little rough in the early stage. Once into the mid to late stage, I think if Fireflux is, they're aiming for that part to then turn it around on them. And I feel like that's how Fireflux is going to win there. What do you have any different takes?
I mean, I'm thinking something similar. I want to take a quick look back at the draft real quick. Pull it up real quick. I do think, I mean, so they pick up the carry as their last pick for Fireflux. Definitely something that needs to scale. But RQ kind of along the same lines with the Claude, the Aurora,
yeah.
Heavy CC on the side of RQ as well. The main thing that RQ is going to have to worry about when we get into a little bit in the later game is dealing with the Novaria, right? Dealing with that long range. They do have the Basha and they also have the Benedetta. So yeah, they have some answers to that. I feel like RQ has a few more answers than what Fireflux exactly does. The only real diver that Fireflux has is CC, who can dive but doesn't really cause that, like, the damage is there, but it's not something like a Lapu or Terizla that kind of causes CC and locks down the back line. It just kind of harasses the back line. Yes, the damage can very well be there and get the kills in, but Fireflux is still kind of lacking a way to shut down the Claude or shut down the Aurora. They're really kind of looking for the opportunity. It's more of just like a roll over you comp. We're going to come at you head on, and we're going to just try to kind of steamroll you down.
I can see it. I also think that it'll come down to severe tactics, right? From the side of Fireflux, their positioning's going to have to be like on point. They're going to have to utilize probably, again, they don't want to get steamrolled too early, so probably a little bit passive in the early stage because Fredrin's not going to jungle as fast as Basha, right? So I feel like that'd be the key, is to watch out for that, and then just positioning. Overall, how fast the EXP can rotate and help, I feel like will be a benefit for Fireflux. That's what the CC is capable of doing. But so does Banana, right? Like the Benedetta is just insane at movement, and there's already quite the game happening here in the middle.
All right. I'm excited for it. Finally jumping into game number one. Luckily, the pause wasn't too long. Now, you mentioned EXP laners, and I want to touch on that because I do believe that the way that whoever kind of ends up winning out, I think, in this EXP lane is going to be huge for each team. Both of these EXP laners have the ability to rotate pretty quickly. Both of these EXP laners, I think, are going to be crucial in the fights. But look at the Frozen already on to Apex47. RQ already showing some heavy aggression, kind of taking control of the river. But Banana taking some damage as well. This is not your typical bulky EXP laners. They're definitely going at it.
We are having some technical difficulties in game here. Again, I just kind of going back onto the EXP spot. I do like what's kind of going down there. You can tell that each side has that poke and that peel, and I think it'd be just outmatching that, right? If CC can keep the Benedetta at bay and not allow her to rotate, I feel like that'd be a win for RQ, right? But if she's able to win the lane and be able to rotate, then that's a huge win for Flux. So we'll see how it goes out there. Now, a Claude against the carry, if I'm not mistaken, like a Claude definitely is going to be shining against the carry in the lane. So I feel like it's going to be a little bit harder for the carry in the early stage. It's going to definitely rely on the minnow to roam a little bit, but the minnow also has that sustainability, which is what I think is going to be, again, both sides have the sustainability, but more RRQ has that, they can initiate the sustainability versus the other team just has it passively depending on hitting minions and heroes. So I think it'll come down to key plays by the minnow as well.
I think one of the things that RQ Hoshi have going for them here is they do have a lot of mobility, right? You mentioned it with the Basha. He's gonna be able to move around, clears camps quick. You also have the Claude, who's known for being able to jump around, BMI in and out of the fight, make quick moves, gets a speed boost with passive and everything. And they also have the Benedetta. So it's just a fast-moving, aggressive composition. You add that, you layer that up with the CC supplied from the Aurora, the CC supplied from the Minotaur, and it is definitely deadly. Flux, I see them a bit more just kind of grouping up, wanting RQ Hoshi to come to them, using the Ruby as kind of the stopping point, the thing to kind of slow down RQ and all of their movements. And if they can pull that off, I think if Flux can kind of stick in the game here, they do have some very good scaling here. They're just going to need to be careful of those big CC plays, of those big plays coming from the Minotaur and the Aurora, because if they are too grouped up and they get hit by something like that, it is going to be bad when it's paired up with something like the Blazing Duet.
Yeah, and I think ultimately that's why RRQ went with more of the Basha, was just because it has that mobility and can avoid the Ruby. But we're going to be getting back into the game one second time here. Let's get it, Trex. Let's see what actually goes down. Kind of wanted to know what was really causing some issues there, but hey. Ooh, TNZ hitting them with the the fade, man.
The glacier.
That's what I was saying.
Fade. Oh man, that bro.
He is.
Aurora, the CC from Aurora is honestly insane. This is one of the reasons why I expected to see a bit more of her. With the way that the meta is right now and how reliant so many comps are on heavy CC, you're having 3, sometimes 4 heroes that all have some sort of lockdown, all have some sort of freeze, all have some sort of immobility. It's just huge, and she plays very well to it. Nice knockup coming from Brusco. Gonna try to lock onto Tianzi. Tianzi takes a lot of damage from the Electo final blow. And Banana able to get the kill. Alien still in the midst of things. Rosa coming in as well, but Arad able to take the first turtle of this game. Octa goes down though. Rosa able to pick up the kill. Arad now moving on to the next, but Alien finds another one. Brusco goes down, so it's a 2 for 2. Turtle over to the side of RQ though.
That was probably the most dramatic death I've ever seen in Alien. Kind of in a little trouble. Do we see Banana? I don't think the Banana doesn't have an ultimate, but they're still coming out at him. What is this aggression?
Arad gets pulled back with the I'm offended, taking a lot of damage. Alien gonna be able to pick up the kill. Apex47 may go down for this. Uses a little bit of bushwork. Alien taking a bit of damage as well. They're duking it out already. Alien able to get back under the tower to safety with a hop and a skip. I like it. It's 3-3. Gold at a standstill.
The style plays coming from Alien right there. Definitely great to see. 3-3. Both teams are at it. Banana, though, overstaying their welcome a bit. able to get out of there with the ultimate, though. Again, this is huge. I mean, for both sides of the team, they're not letting up. This is something we see occasionally, that both teams just want aggression early on. And again, this is what you were saying earlier. This is, I feel like, going to stop the steamroll from both sides. Is you just got to keep them at bay. But TNZ want to fight.
I mean, they're definitely going at it. We're 3-3 right now, about 4 minutes in. Next turtle going to be up in 30 seconds. Now, Banana and Alien both have not taken a death yet. They're both doing great in their respective EXP lane. Ooh. And I think, oh my God, the damage from both of them. I love this meta of EXP laners right now. It's not your old school, bulky, never-ending fight. These guys are moving and they are aggressive. A little bit of action up in the top side as well. A nice meteor connects onto Skylar. They get brought down to about half health. TNZ gonna take a glacier to the face. Frozen up there. Both teams deciding to disengage.
At this point, I feel like RRQ might want to do something against Alien. They're definitely a back and forth battle happening down in the EXP lane, but if they're able to scale with the CC, it could be a little bit of a problem for Octa and even possibly Skylar. So we'll see first turtle. Well, the second turtle happening right now. We'll have to see. I mean, Banana is ready. Look at holding the mid bush here to possibly catch CC on the rotate, but Alien reads it very well. Who's going to get the engage here, Trex?
Banana has the Petrify ready to go. I'm excited to see Banana try to make the play into the backside. Alien able to zone away Brusco here. The damage is already starting to connect up. Apex 47 comes in, but a nice Minoan Fury on the 3 members, locked up by the Glacier as well, comboed, and down comes the Appraisal's Rat. TNZ able to pick up a kill, but Arad in trouble here, gonna get taken out as well. 2 for 1. Apex 47 goes down. Turtle still on the map of TNZ's, and that spot Banana might try to engage onto this, but Rose is there to back him up. Banana might have to back off. Alien now rotating up as well. Rosa with the Meteor looking for the next target. Gonna move back with TNZ though.
I mean, both teams are being very patient here. Like, each team they're just taking as much as they possibly can. The turtle doesn't go to anybody, which is wild. And not only that, they rotated EXP and gold lane at the 5-minute mark, but
ooh, nice time offended. Followed up by the Meteor. A lot of damage on Octa. The passive does proc. Octa, though, gonna go down. Able to get a quick freeze onto Apex 47 to buy Brusco. A little bit of time there. But still, Fire Flux taking the lead here.
Banana trying to get
now, hanging out. Waiting for a back line rush there. And that's where, you know, I feel like Alien's going to do great against the front line of RRQ Hoshi, to whereas Banana's going to do amazing to the back line of Fire Flux. And which one's going to be more important? Oh, a lot of trouble for Rosa. Banana looking for the final hit, able to find it. They're now taking a lot of damage from the Blazing Duet. Skylar comes in as well. Up at the Turtle, though, Alien able to take out Brusco. Turtle did go to the side of Fire Flux. Arad finds TNZ, though, but now Arad in a little bit of trouble. Alien on the chase. Should be able to catch up, but no, getting burned and slowed. Arad able to get away.
Banana 402, just absolutely decimating Fire Flux's backline. I think paired with Skylar there, they knew that they could rely on their team to just kind of take it at the turtle, right? And then they did it, right? And kind of taking a look at some of the items. The biggest thing that we are seeing is Skylar has that Demon Hunter sword picked up, right? So that's going to be a devastating pick for the side of Fire Flux, just because they are a bit tanky. Apex might not be able to play as aggressive as they were. This is getting into the early mid game, and I think we're going to see some crazy plays coming up soon.
I mean, it's 7-7. Gold is still at pretty much an even. It is starting to tip a bit more into the hands of Fire Flux to about 2,000. It's kind of bouncing between 1 and 2,000. But still, that is nothing huge. Fire Flux does take the first tower of the game on the top side. RQ Hoshi, they are going to have a decent spike, and you're right about Banana. He's still 4-0-2, and I'm excited to see how it's going to move forward the more he's able to kind of participate in these big skirmishes. Fire Flux already grouping up. Here comes the conceal play. Looking for a target here. They do have the vision onto Skylar here. Apex 47 trying to find one, but Skylar able to get away.
That was a good zone by Brusco there. Again, right now, Fireflux really has to protect their back line, right? Because Rosa's been caught twice already by Banana, which is huge for the side of RRQ. So I think they have to maybe play a little bit more together, which I think at this point they're getting there, right? Being the first Lord, I feel like this fight's going to be about a 50-50, but again, it could be anybody's game as Fireflux has the damage. Like, look at Navaria, even though it's 1-2, Rosa still doing
look at Banana.
burn.
Look at Banana. Good Banana, hiding in the top bush, looking for the back line flank again. Finally does show face. I don't know if Alien was able to see him there. I think so. Gonna check those bushes, make sure it's safe for the rest of the team. But Banana's not leaving that lane, and Fireflux is going to have to be careful about it. Brusco, though, going to get him offended in. Chip down from Alien, will go down. Alien able to pick up the kill, but the Lord falls, and Rad is able to take it. A beautiful steal. Banana trying to get out of town quick with the Electro final blow as the rest of Fireflux collapses on top of Arad. Arad in between three members, going to do as much as he can. But while this is happening, you're right, Skylar taking a tower in the boss side. RRQ macroing up the map.
Macroing it up and taking the Lord, which is huge. Octa in a little bit of trouble. Apex on the hunt. I don't think Skylar
Octa stays
is
catching those meteors. Rosa is just target locked onto Octa right now. I think the past 3 or 4 meteors Rosa has thrown out in a team fight have landed directly onto Octa.
Yeah, and again, Rosa's done this before with the Navaria, so the aim is just amazing, and the prediction from Fireflux at this point, they're going to do whatever they possibly can to keep this mid turret, which is, I think, going to be key, right? Because that's the one thing that's going to keep them apart from each other. They are winning in team fights, so they just need to secure neutral objectives. RRQ looking to scale at this point. They need to take as much as they possibly can. If they can get a pick here, they might be able to clean up all tier 1 towers and maybe take a couple tier 2.
And here's the thing, even with Fireflux losing out on some of these neutral objectives, they have still kept the gold lead for a while. They're finally falling behind by 100 gold, but still that is not a lot. And both the XP laners are going to be a huge threat to the other team. We have 4-0-5 on Alien. We have 4-0-2 on Banana. Taking a look at the gold laners, Skylar, though, still have not taken a single death, the opposite of Sunshine, who has. That is also going to start to become a major play in this. The more Skylar can just farm up and be comfortable on his signature hero Claude, it's definitely going to become an issue.
They're reading it so well. Fireflux is so good at controlling and zoning the map out. Like that is what I love to see from teams. Like it's like an octagon. If you just constantly keep phasing out parts of the Land of the Dawn and the river, you'll understand kind of where someone is at. And Fireflux is doing so good at reading the map and understanding where Banana's at. Because we can tell, I mean, Banana loves the patient plays to wait for the flank. And I love that Fireflux is now responding to what Banana is bringing to them.
Yeah, but they're going to have to start responding to the map control from RRQ Hoshi as well. Yes, Fireflux does great in kind of controlling the fights, but I feel like when it comes to overall macro, RRQ is definitely chewing up these turrets right now. Has taken everything on both off lanes, but Fireflux has done well at defending that mid lane, and as long as they do that, it will kind of keep RQ's rotations in check a bit. There's still this bottleneck that both teams have to move through if they want to get to the other side of the map. Lord gonna be up now. Fireflux take control of the pit up first.
Yeah, and I feel like that's their ideal goal, right? If they're not able to win in team fights into the early right now, let Fireflux do that, right? We'll take other things. Like, you can have a couple kills. It's not going to really win the game.
Sunshine
we got the
Apex
eyes on the prize.
In the bot side, Sunshine and Apex. Sunshine pokes face. Banana's like, no. I know you got someone else with you, man. We're not going to go for that one, but Rosa is able to get vision on the team. Arad and Tienzi once again at it. Can Arad cop the steal again? Cop the feel again on this Lord.
Oh, God.
Fireflux. All 5 members here now. Banana finally rotating up, but the Lord is low. Might be too late to the party, and the Lord goes down to Rad, able to take it. Brusco now looking for a set. The Glacier comes down, and Apex 40 falls with it. Fireflux on the run this time. RQ got what they came for. They take control of the Lord, and they take control of the map.
They do, and they want to take more as well. They're still showing such great aggression. I'm so surprised that Fireflux wants to take the 50-50s on the Lord. I mean, this is the second time they've lost it, so let's see what they can do. Again, they held really well on the first Lord. Can they hold really well on the second Lord as RRQ is barreling down the mid and the left lane?
Ooh. Irad is just vicious with these retries right now. Takes the purple away from Fireflux, takes the Lord. His timing is impeccable right now. Apex47 is coming out with a conceal play to get a slightly different position. The Glacier comes down. Nobody going to get stunned up from it. The Lord finally makes the crash. Fireflux loses their first inhibitor to the game. RQ claims that they're going to move on to the mid side now, take that tier 2 as well. They are picking Fireflux apart down to the bones.
They are. They're playing them textbook at this point, and we can already see, man, Skylar with the aggression here. RRQ, right? They're doing really well. They're scaling a lot. Skylar, 11, almost 12K gold. Are they going to attempt to go for it?
Damage from Skylar there. We haven't even seen Skylar get super involved yet. That's the big kicker here. He's just been farming and farming. And RQ has still been able to handle these fights very well. We haven't even seen like an insane backline blazing duet or anything yet. He's just been kind of chipping away, and now he is going to come in. Brusco there with an Owen's Fury, able to get a big knockup. Octa finds the kill. Apex47 now on the run. Alien hold down the front side, but RQ took down one, and that's all they needed to advance this fight. Skylar going to move on to the orange buff, just patrolling the jungle right now, looking for angles, looking for flanks, and that's how RQ has continuously won these team fights.
Definitely a huge play there by RRQ. The patience behind Brusco there just to give vision, and then the combo with Skylar, they couldn't even survive. Again, it's a little risky to take, but not devastating, right? I mean, you got 30 seconds till the next Lord, so everybody will be available. I just think it's one of those things that you're able to kind of feel out how RRQ has control over the map, and you can see they're keeping them at bay. Skylar has a full set, Malefic Roar, and the attack speed is definitely picked up. If they can shut down Alien on Fireflux, I think that's kind of their... If they do that, then I think it's GG's, but you never know.
All right, let's see, though. Fireflux, we've seen them put their big boy pants on in crucial Lord fights. You know, you mentioned earlier that maybe they shouldn't go for the 50-50. Maybe they should try to take a fight before the Lord pit. Brad already knows that's what they want. And now they're going to move on to Apex47. Arad takes a quick turn. Brusco unable to land the Minoan's Fury. Fireflux baits that out, and they still all got their ultimates. Yes, there is a backdoor possibility from Banana, but it seems that Fireflux smells something in the water. They're going to send Sunshine back to help define the lane. Alien able to take down Brusco. It's now 5v4. Does Fireflux want to commit? They have to send back Sunshine, but Tansy finally takes it, and Irad going to probably fall here. Goes down Alien, picking up the kill. RQ Hoshi now falling behind, and this is what I meant, Fireflux. When the time comes down to it, they know how to take the fight to their enemies.
They do. And see, this is what I like, right? I said in the very beginning of the game that Fireflux really needed to bait out utility from RRQ, but Alien, the damage getting put down.
Skylar chasing him down.
Greedy.
Uh-oh. Sunshine Apex like, no. You better back up. But still, the damage, Skylar's going to be probably one of the only people that can really just like 1v1 Alien right now, which is insane because Alien is bursting down most of RQ, well, shredding down most of RQ. But the damage from Skylar right now could be getting out of control.
Yeah, I feel like RRQ is going to be able to defend this Lord probably with no problem. I mean, they have a lot of their tier 3 still. But we'll see if Fireflux wants to fully engage here.
And they got to watch out for the offended. Lord is able to encroach onto the base. Skylar's finally showed up. We'll be able to chip it down. Fireflux not going to overextend. And keep our eyes on Banana because he is everywhere. Disrupting waves, slowing down the pushes from Fireflux. He's doing his job very well.
They are trying to find
they
Banana.
We're checking every bush. They're kicking doors. Open
I'm
up,
telling you.
FBI.
They were like, where is Banana? I'm tired of this. But again, I mean, that play by Banana forced Fireflux to then give up control of the frontal of RRQ. Now, the biggest thing I was kind of saying is that Fireflux needs to continue to bait these utilities out, but they have to be on their toes here though, because we've constantly seen Banana almost attempt a backdoor. Though the Lord is on the right-hand side this time around, we are seeing that the backdoor potential is a little bit harder, but that could be a possibility for RRQ at this point. Fireflux, just keep baiting out utilities. Do not take a 50-50 Lord unless you really have control over that map.
I mean, with the Lord being on the bot side here, in the long lane being in advantage of Fireflux, it does kind of help them, right? RQ is going to have to be a bit more stressed about getting up to that top lane and clean those waves. Luckily, they do have Banana, who's been extremely mobile, extremely proactive, but it's definitely something we got to keep our eyes on. As long as Fireflux kind of lets that lane stay pushed on RQ side, it's going to be very helpful for them when it comes down to these Lord fights.
Exactly. I feel like it's key that RRQ has such great ability, but I do also think they need to execute it, especially, maybe try to reset the Lord a couple times or try to get it out of Fireflux's hand. I think that's where they're struggling at this, is that they're all about the split push, and they really haven't had a full engage at a Lord. And maybe if they had a full engage at the Lord, RRQ could be on the winning side here. But Fireflux kind of has them pressed back against the wall.
Fireflux, in past international events, Wolf coined the meta for Fireflux. He calls it the Turkish delight. You got the Ube strat coming from Blacklist, and we have the Turkish delight from Fireflux. And I always like to kind of call, it's very layered. The way that they take these fights is very layered sometimes. They're very good at meshing everybody's ultimates together. Now Alien going to come in onto a rat. Oh, Apex this time going to blow his ult a little bit too early, but still, look at the damage. Oh, into the back line, the Petrify. Banana able to find Rosa. Sunshine goes down as well. Brusco is the only one falling on the side of RQ, and now RQ is collapsing. Claude goes for the split push, and that was all without him. Skylar now going to get involved into this fight. He still has the Blazing Duet, but doesn't even need to use it. Apex 47 is going nowhere. RRQ Hoshi decimate Fireflux in that fight. They've still got Tienzi and Alien. RQ say, no, we don't want no Lord. We're going to go for the game here. We're going to go for the finish. They're going to collapse down in the boss side. Skylar able to use the Blazing Duet, clear up all of these minions, and look at the damage onto Alien. Alien still trying to survive. Skylar repositions. The Glacier comes down. Alien not getting away from that one. Tienzi is going to be next on the chopping block. The Electro final blow to final blow him out. And now Fireflux will go down. RQ Hoshi taking game number 1.
Game number 1. What a play. That was insane. From the, oh my God, my throat. From RRQ, they definitely destroyed it there. And that was kind of the backdoor. It was an attempt at a backdoor that really forced them out of their comfort zone from controlling the Lord. So a really great play by RRQ.
Really great play. I mean, and that was just Banana. Banana. You're really giving coin to his name, We call him, Banana, a.k.a. Banana Split. This guy is consistently splitting the map, consistently splitting up the team, consistently making work, and just always on the back line, always on the opposite side. Even in all these fights, you never know where he's coming from.
Yeah, and I feel like RRQ really needed that response against Rosa. Once they took down Rosa, the team comp kind of fell apart. They didn't have that poke. They didn't have that peel. They also lost vision at that point, and I think that's what Rosa was really giving to Fireflux. And you can kind of just see just Bananas just everywhere. The Benedetta in the hands of Banana just makes you slip up and makes you lose focus on what's going down, and then RRQ just able to take advantage of that slip up.
Yeah, I mean, just did an overall amazing job. and just a good game from both teams, back and forth throughout it all. But in the end, RRQ, I think where they really won was just in the overall macro and map control and making in their positioning on the map in general. Flux took the more simple approach of keeping their team grouped together at a time, kind of keeping everyone in the same positions, and RRQ took advantage of that. Banana took advantage of that. And with having Rosa, who wants to get vision on the whole team, but normally always sending it at where the group is, as long as Banana was able to stay out of that Astral Echo, then they're all good. They always have someone who can get to the back line, and that's exactly how RRQ was able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I mean, we can really say that Flux just had complete control over the map, and that's just one utility that RRQ was able to utilize was just their mobility. And I think their mobility was the key victory here, and they utilized it to the fullest. And then RRQ able to take the win there. My God.
Look at the robots in the stadium right now. They're hyped too, just like the rest of us. Let's take a look at the MVP. Who would have guessed it? RRQ Hoshi Banana, 6-0-4, 23% damage, nothing too major. I think the real takeaway on this was just his positioning on the map, making the game-changing plays. He's going to strike fear into Flux coming into game 2. If he gets something like the Benedetta again, they're going to have to find an answer to it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, the carry pick has just not been shining recently, right? Even though that Sunshine was able to pick it up, it just, I didn't feel like it played a crucial role. And I think that, again, Banana just kind of upsetting Flux's team comp. All of the squishies in the back line, Banana was like, yep, that's me, I'm there. And RRQ just did a fantastic job. And then you got to give it up to Skylar too, right? Like, we didn't see him in too many fights. He was just constantly farming, constantly applying split pressure alongside Banana, and it takes them to a 1-0 against Flux.
But here's the thing too, is because Skylar was able to scale like that, Alien eventually was not a threat to him. The one hero on the side of Flux who was meant to kind of dive into the back line, they were unable to deal with it. And maybe the reality is that they were targeting the wrong person all along. Maybe Skylar wasn't the real issue. Maybe the real issue was Banana. Now, we do have a player versus player stats here. Skylar against Rosa, the Thorn Queen, some like to call him. 2-1 kills, both players doing well, but in the end, RRQ comes out on top. Now, I think it was an amazing game, G. We're going to be jumping to a video very soon. Any final words about the game?
Вы, наверное, хотите спросить: Аймурат, куда ты едешь, куда ты так стремишься? Все очень просто. Сегодня 1/2 финала. И давайте выясним, кто же сегодня станет сильнейшим. Скажи, пожалуйста, за кого сегодня болеем на MLBB?
Всегда болею за хорошую игру, но в данном случае болею за оников.
За оников. А именно вот на текущей игре за AP.Bren.
Да.
Ну что, я вот болею за RRQ Хоши, поэтому давай попробуем так сделаем. Смотри, если сегодня выигрывает RRQ Хоши, ты поцелуешь моего оператора в щечку.
Ладно.
Ладно. А если выигрывает AP.Bren?
Да.
Если побеждает AP.Bren, то я 10 раз отжимаюсь.
А я буду сидеть на спине.
Давай. Я не думаю, что ты много весишь.
Давай, забились.
Добились.
Давай.
Все, круто, отлично. Попался ваншотер, попался. Это что у нас, фанатки?
Нет.
Это твои бодигарды, да, которые защищают от таких, как я, назойливых?
Да, мое секьюрити.
Понятно. Ваншот, скажи, пожалуйста, кто сегодня победит? Кто сегодня выйдет в финал?
Если Ират так и будут танков пикать, то, скорее всего, Брена заберут.
AP.Bren?
Да.
И? Ну, кто в финал выйдет? Две команды?
Брены и Оники, повторение М5 финала.
Конечно, я болею за RRQ, потому что...
Я тоже за RRQ, я тоже.
KeepBest, они все-таки, сильнее, это очевидно. Но надеюсь, что RRQ что-то противостоять смогут откомпечить хотя бы одну игру.
Я думаю, наша с тобой энергия сегодня им поможет. Я зашел, мы с тобой как Double Dragon сейчас соединимся и просто пустим энергию, и они ее почувствуют и разнесут всех. Tell me please about your feelings, about your emotions. What do you feel?
I feel good.
That's all?
Yeah.
Where's your smile? Where's your emotion? Oh yeah!
We still have one game tomorrow.
Oh, and you are focused, right?
Yeah, focus.
And maybe you change some strategy or the same?
I think just the same.
The same?
Yeah.
And you nervous?
No.
No. Did you make any mistakes on this game?
I think so. I think a lot.
So you're gonna work out of them today?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do today?
I will sleep.
Just sleep at all?
Yeah.
And relax.
Yes.
Башня упала на карте. Лорд повержен скиллом. В душе моей мир. Но грядет битва, грядет финал.
All right, we're back at it, G. Once again, RRQ takes a big win, 1-0, and because it's just a best of 3, it's a match point already. Fireflux has to turn things around here.
Yeah, now, my main question that I have is, since RRQ's up 1, are they going to keep this serious aspect that they've done in this very first game? And I mean, this is against Fireflux. We've seen that Fireflux was actually doing a little bit of opposite of what I suspected them to do. And they were controlling that early game, right? They were, what you were kind of saying, trying to steamroll RRQ, keep them essentially pushed back against the wall. But RRQ being able to read the situation a little bit better with that mobility that they had on the team. I want to know, like, are we going to see some spicy picks here? Like, are we going to see the formidable Layla?
Well, that would be RQ. I don't know if we're going to see that. Maybe just as a final snub, they're like, hey, yo, let's... And it's funny, 'cause before this whole thing started, I was talking to some other casters, globally, some Indonesian people, and they were talking about, one of the things a lot of people see on Skylar is that his Claude is amazing. His Claude is one of the things he's known for, but sometimes the rest of his hero pool can lack. So a lot of us were wondering, what is he going to bring out? Does he have something new up his sleeve? And I think the last thing we all expected was a Layla pick, but hey, they made it work once. Weren't able to make it work the second time, so he's on match point with Layla right now. He's 1-1. Maybe he does pull it out just to tip the odds in his favor. I mean, RQ Hoshi's feeling pretty comfortable right now. I think they could throw Skylar on whatever, but honestly, the real people that Fireflux has to watch out for are going to be most likely Banana again, and then also Irad. Irad right now in the Lord Pit is just outclassing TNZ. In the early phase, he's able to secure those turtles, even when it's not in his favor. He's able to secure those lords, even when it's not in his favor. So they have to find a way to zone him away, and they have to be able to do that without getting flanked by Banana at the same time.
And I think that, Fireflux would have won that game if that was the case, right? If they were able to zone out Irad in the Lord Pit, I feel like they definitely would have had full control over it, and they would have kept that steamroll going. And I just think it was just, I don't know if they felt pressured by the split pushes, or, again, that's just what causes teams to fall apart, is when they have to make major decisions like that, right? When they have to decide if they want to send someone to stop that split split push or respond to it. And then the moment that they didn't send anybody, Banana just took advantage of it. They're like, well, you know, like, I'm going to just wait back here until Rosa comes back and I'm going to just take him out, right? And that happened multiple times. And I feel like that's what Fireflux has to really do here, is to maybe not dial back, because I felt like they were doing excellent in that first game. I feel like they need to figure out how to control RRQ's mobility.
Banana in general. Do they ban out something like the Benedetta here, right? Like, do they start to focus on it? Or do they pick a composition where you don't have so many loose ends? Because Novaria is always going to kind of hang out very far in the back, away from the team. And that's where the Benedetta was just such a great answer to what Fireflux was bringing there. Because you want, like, you kind of need Apex 47 to hang out with the team and, maybe help out that back line, but you also need Apex 47 to make those plays in the front side. And because Apex 47 was trying to zone away a Rad, everyone else on the side of RQ, if they wanted, had full access to the back line. So great answer. This time Fireflux is going to ban out the Navaria, meaning they don't really want to go for it this time, but they also don't want to give it up.
True. And I kind of want to know if Fireflux has that fear factor. So far, doesn't seem like it. I think they might be trying to bait maybe them being able to pick up the Guinevere, but RRQ might respond with that being banned out. We'll see. Maybe they bait something else that's a little bit more enticing. I don't know if there would be anything else more enticing than a Matilda, than a Guinevere. So we're probably going to be seeing the Guinevere ban. A lot of teams don't want to see that on the playing field at this point. Now, Fireflux, what do they do to respond to this? It just looks like we're going straight back into the same bans besides the Navaria here. They could, I mean, the Nana was available last time. Like, I felt like, I don't know. I mean, the Navaria, yes, it was good, but I think RRQ countered it really well in the draft phase. So it comes down to it that I feel like Nana would be a safer pick at this point for Fireflux.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that can stay with the team. And if that's if they want to go for more of the, Ube-esque strategy where everyone's grouped up, yes, you definitely want a mage who's going to hang out with the team. They do go for the Joy ban this time, so they are going to put on the map, even though it wasn't picked at all last game without being banned, but still kind of foreseen. And they don't want to ban out the Gwynny because they want the Gwynny here. So now we're putting RQ in this position of having to choose, right? What do we want to take out? I think Gwyn is definitely very viable. Last time RQ did ban out the support, I'm having a total mind blank right now, did ban out the Angela and the Brats along with the Arlot. So do they want to ban that again or switch it up?
Yeah, I mean, I can't particularly say that I've seen Fireflux pick up an Angela, so I'm not quite sure what why they wanted to get rid of that last time. I guess it could have been played into something, but they're going to opt to go for the Ruby.
Okay. So Fireflux did pick up the Angela against ONIC yesterday. They lost with it. They did lose with it. They played the Angela Joy combo, but there goes the Guinevere for the side of Fireflux. RQ now got to respond.
Yeah, I mean, so 2 picks. You get 2 solid picks. Minnow is still open. I feel like Minnow was such a clutch.
Minnow's always good.
Like, I mean, as a roam, it's there. You've already got rid of the Arlot. You've already gotten rid of the Ruby. So, like, the roam position is very secured, I would say, for RRQ. And then they could respond with the Claude again. Like you were saying, Skylar's all about the Claude. If they're going serious here, I would just pick up the Minnow and the Claude once again. But they're going to go the Minnow and the Nana.
The Nana.
The Nana.
I like it. I mean, I think the Minnow right now is very similar, in a very similar position as the Guinevere. It's been picked a lot, and it has a great win rate in playoffs right now. It is probably the most used and highest win rate roam in Games of Future right now. It is not just picked for no reason. But here goes Rosa's signature pick, the Lilia. Whenever Fireflux gets pushed up against the wall, there's one thing they like to do is, all right, let's get back to comfort, boys. Let's do what we know best. Now, here's the problem. Last time we saw Rosa on the Lilia. Oh! Rad Fanny.
Spicy.
That is very spicy. Could be why we saw the Ruby ban here from the side of RRQ Hoshi. That's kind of scary, and that's a pick that makes you completely have to switch gears. That is a pick that makes you like, oh man, now we have to draft something in for this Fanny. They could go for something like the Cho, they could go for the Kufra, they could go for a Franco, Kaja. They have some options to deal with it. Fermis is also still open, but they already have the Lilia, so it would have to be something like a Roam Fermis, which, you know, isn't as viable right now. Some options for an answer, but it's still kind of tough.
What I want to know is what RRQ is going to pick up for the Marksman. Right now, it's looking a little dicey, you know. They're going to get rid of the Naden. That's good. I like it. They also got rid of the Tig on the side of RRQ in their ban phase, which, again, from Fireflux, I feel like they're either going to go a little utility, and because they're going to need a little bit more CC other than TNZ. So Apex, we could see, I mean, the R-Lots out of there. They've just been utility. They don't want to see any utility picked up for RRQ. And again, they're kind of doing that split push play that we're going to probably be seeing again.
Fireflux could ban out the Benedetta here.
Yeah,
could ban out the Benedetta. I don't really think at this with a Fanny on the field, it's like Skylar can pick whatever marksman he wants, really, man. Like, because Irad can be down to that gold lane in a matter of seconds at any time. I think the real pressure is gonna be on on Fireflux's gold lane. So we'll see. They do ban out the Harith though, so they do kind of keep it a little bit simple. I'm still wondering what's the answer to this Fanny. I think they gotta go for something like the Kaja.
I feel it. It's in my bones.
It's in your bones? That's what you want?
It's in my bones.
You just want to cast the Layla game. That's all that is. That's all that is. Give me the Layla.
Manifestation is the key, man. Fireflux, though, they still have, again, they could still go EXP. I think CC is still available. They did really well with the CC last time, but I also believe what you said. They could still pick up the Benedetta. I mean, it was clutch. It worked out. Okay. RRQ, we can officially say they're being serious right now.
Yeah.
They're not
unless they go EXP lane Layla, right? No.
You left me speechless, I'll tell you that. But it could happen. It could be freaking EXP Fanny. Who knows? No.
I do feel like they might want something. They have tons of damage. They could go for something a bit bulkier here for their EXP laner. They don't have to go for something too quick moving. They have plenty of movement on the map. Fireflux, though, is going to pick up the Hilda. Okay, so they've opted for like plan B against the Fanny, right? We don't have lockdown. That's not something we really have here. Yes, they do have the penalty zone from Terizla. They do have the knockup from Gwyneth, but that is a hard hit on a Fanny. Like if Arad is moving the way we know Arad likes moving, then it's going to be a little bit tough. What they're going to go for is more of harass, like you just said. We're going to invade. We're going to send Apex 47 in there time and time again. No matter how many times he dies in the enemy jungle, he will be right in front of Fanny.
Yeah, and I feel like that right now is what they want to opt to go for, right? Harass as much as possible on the side of Fireflux. RRQ, they have to really respond to that. So we're probably going to be seeing the Minnow definitely rotate around the Fanny, because I feel like right now, the Bruno and the Fanny are kind of the ones that are in trouble at this point, especially with a Hilda on the playing field and a Terizla. So we'll see. I love the minions taking themselves out there in the mid lane there.
No, they both just take each other out. Tie game.
I love these animations. Send us off, Shreks.
Yeah, we're going to be jumping in to the land of Dawn for match point on Rex Regum Kaon. Fireflux backs against the wall once again. Can they prove to the world that they are a force to be reckoned with? Can they claim third place?
We'll find out in this game, kind of setting the stage here. Right now, to be honest, I feel like Flux is going to be winning the mid lane in the early stage, right? Because the Lilia just does, I feel like it's a great counter to the Nana. So I like it. We'll see. Flux is, but look at the lane clear there with the duo. And the pressure already onto Apex. Okay, I like it. RRQ responding really well. This is what they have to keep up, though. So they can't lose focus. They're going to have to rely on the left and the right lane to carry their own while they're able to take care of Apex harassment right now.
I mean, one of the problems, you meant normally, yes, Flux would have great wave clear, but going to be using Apex 47 as that harasser. So Rosa's going to be alone most of the time in the mid lane. Rosa's going to kind of have to be able to compete by themselves. Rosa now, Arad now locking on to Rosa there. Rosa doesn't have black shoes yet, so going to have to be careful, but we're already seeing the aggression come from the side of RRQ.
Ooh, I love the tenacity that Apex is going. But Skylar!
Purify, Skylar goes down. Even after using the Purify, doesn't get knocked up, but there's no escape from Tianzi and Sunshine.
See, this is the problem that I believe that they were going to have, right? Like, they're going to have to kind of let up on the left and right lanes and kind of going to get cut off here. Ooh.
Brad does get level 4 there, but he's at the wrong side of the map. He's not going to be able to do enough damage onto Apex or Alien. Flux doing a good job. We got to wait for the power spike to happen, though. RQ at some point will pop off. They have the damage from Nana. They have the damage from Arad that eventually is going to come in. Skylar taking that death, though, this early on in the game could be huge for Flux.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno definitely not wanting to die first. You can already see that they want to invade this blue buff. Penalty zone possibly could be coming out. Banana low as well. I love the zonage on this turtle. Like, there's no way Arad's going to be able to get in there. And look at the pressure by Apex.
Ooh, big knockup does come from Tienzi. Able to get the Violent Requiem. Passive does proc for Octa. Octa able to get away. Arad flying through, but Alien still looking for the kill. The damage from level 4 Rosa right now is just insane. Able to zone away Alien during the turtle pit. Wait a second, Banana in trouble. Banana trying to fight back. Whoa. Apex 47 might go down, but here comes the Alien. Banana able to jump away. Still no kill on the map for RRQ.
Just the micro plays there alone was so impressive. So again, Banana not one to give up, wants to keep that lane clear. And again, right now, Flux controlling a decent bit of the map. They're going to have to keep the pressure up, though, Trex. They're going to have to keep this going, and we can see it that they have it. Now, this is just the early stage, though. If RRQ can make it into the late stage, Hilda's going to start falling off and not being so harassable.
Oh, my God, that's a lot of damage onto Arad. Arad going to have to go back to base. Tienzi in the midst at the orange pit. Doing some damage on Octa, but Brusco to knock up on 2 members, but Skylar still unable to unload, but Tienzi finally does drop. Skylar picks up the kill. Blazing Duet into the backside. Skylar taking a bit of damage, but Apex 47 has gone down. Skylar gets found from Rosa. It's a 2 for 2. Flux Esports still coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, being able to take out Skylar once again is going to be a problem for RRQ. Definitely want gold lane to scale, and we can kind of see 2,400 gold to 27, so not too much of a difference. Skylar does have the Hawes Claws, so has that sustainability, so we should see him staying a little bit more into the battles here, probably winning a bit against Sunshine now. As we can see, they know RRQ's like, we got to help Skylar out now.
Yeah, they gotta send someone up there. 2 deaths on a Bruno. You definitely want to be able to scale on the Bruno. You want to be able to output the damage. And with that, it's going to give Flux a little bit of an advantage. They're about 1,000 gold up. They're going to take another turtle here, most likely. The Fanny still unable to pop off. And normally, you'll want to be able to ball with the composition that RQ Hoshi has. And they're getting majorly slowed down.
Yeah, but at least they're not taking a death. Erad hasn't taken a death just yet. Apex still giving great vision over the map, but again, gonna have to watch out for some of these key plays.
Oh, Apex 47, a little bit of trouble, taking some damage. Arad uses the cutthroat, but unable to find him. Octa has finally locked in the Genius One. We're gonna start seeing a punch come from her. RQ Hoshi still unable to make a big play, though.
Blazing Duet not doing anything right now. Banana!
Oh, Banana goes down. Tienzi is everywhere on this Guinevere, and this is why the Gwynny has been so contested. It is almost, it's crazy to say, it's more active right now than the Fanny. It is more all over the map right now than the Fanny.
Yeah, ooh, Octa.
Another one into the mid side. Octa will be safe, though.
Oh my God. RRQ is
Raz
just
is
having
getting
a
denied.
tough time staying alive. Blue buff probably about to be taken. This is rough for RRQ. A little bit of a spicy play picking up the Fanny, and Fireflux making them pay. Again, I think it's going to come down to the split pushing potential that Erad's going to bring to the playing field. We do see a conceal play here.
Oh, conceal play into the top side. Sunshine and Rosa there behind Apex 47. Skylar takes a bit of damage, dashes to the left, able to get another free hit onto Rosa. The black shoes are popped. Fireflux still okay. Bananas rotated up to the top side as well as Arad clears the bot wave. Nothing major happening just yet. 12 seconds to Turtle comes.
Yeah. And again, I mean, if they could control this turtle pit, they could get something here, but maybe they're able to take Apex.
I mean, Apex goes down, but that's his job at this point. It's like, yes, they keep catching him. He's 2 deaths down, but it doesn't make a huge difference. They do get it before the turtle right now, which could be big, but Arad is hanging out in the bot lane, cutting wave, going to get some minions to push onto that tier 3 in the bot side. Is he going to be able to make it up to turtle in time? Is that even part of the plan?
I don't know if it is part of the plan. I feel like they're trying to take turrets because ultimately I feel like turrets are the better neutral objective here at this point because it's what you utilize to get away.
A lot of damage on Alien. Brusco, Octa, but wait, no, Alien putting out the damage. Skylar in trouble. Brusco, you got to slow down Alien. Skylar can't even get away. Tienzi now on a Banana, able to get another kill. Tienzi 3-1-1 right now. And now the Turkish Delight collapses on the members of RRQ. You take our bottom tower, we're going to come for your top.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Tienzi is just everywhere, man. This guy is on fire. Apex 47 going to delay the rest of the team, but that's okay. We're going to take your purple buff, and now Rosa's going to collapse with Apex 47. Sunshine there with the Blazing Duet, doing a lot of damage. The Minoan's Fury unable to target anybody. Sunshine might be a little bit of trouble. Tienzi every time with the knock-up, followed up by the Violent Requiem. RRQ can't seem to escape this man.
They can't, and look, oh my God, they're just everywhere. Fireflux pushing RRQ back against the wall. RRQ, again, they've done pretty good at split pushing. Like, the towers are even, but the problem is that they've lost every single turtle, and they've lost a couple of lives, right? Like, again, Octa is going to be the saving grace at this point. The Nana just 3-0-1. If Fireflux is able to catch a kill on them, I feel like that could be what they really need to take full control over RRQ. Now, for the side of Fireflux, or for the side of RRQ, they got to get these split plays. But in the top lane,
up in the top lane, TNZ doing the 1v2 right now, and he's not going to leave yet. He wants Banana as well, but on the bot side, Apex 47 taking a little bit of damage. Blazing Duet onto Skylar and takes him out, but Rosa does fall for that take. Alien a little bit of trouble as well. They're trying to lock onto Octa here, but Apex 47's with him. A lot of damage onto Octa. Brusco might just be next. Brusco is going to look for the heal, but no! Sunshine flickers in and finds the kill with the BMI, and up on the top side, Banana gets shut down onto TNZ. Fireflux maybe finally biting off a bit more than they can chew.
yeah, and not only the shutdown, the TPs on the body was also happening. So Banana, a little spicy here. Oh man,
Red
they should have
sees no
forced
purple
that.
buff, man. Red sees no purple buff for this game.
What, 5100 versus, what, 59? So the jungle's not too far apart. I think the big difference that we're seeing here is the Bruno versus Claude, right? Like, the Claude's already picked up the Demon Hunter, so the damage is going to be coming out onto Brusco, which is literally their saving grace in some of these team fights, though I do like the split play action happening here.
Yeah, I mean, Lord.
Ooh, look at Apex.
Getting shipped down. Apex 47 in the boss side, gonna harass onto Rad. Rad's got to make it way to the Lord Pit. Does RQ not want to try to fight this out? They're not too far behind. 4K deficit. We've seen teams take fights with lower gold leads. Now, Rosa, though, the zonage from Rosa. This is the great thing with the Lilia. Rosa plays Lilia like it's an EXP laner, man. In your face, and there's the Violent Requiem onto Banana. Arad now trying to come in, but the No One's Fury gets the double knockup onto Tienzi, onto Apex 47. Tienzi goes down, but Sunshine's here to clean him up with an amazing duet. Skylar gonna be next, a triple kill. Make it a maniac. Keep on going, boy. The Sunshine don't shine down here for RRQ. The Lord is going to be taken by Flux. I don't think RQ is going to be able to do anything. It's nothing but Octa on the map right now. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, Sunshine was the saving grace right here. The Minnows Rage come out and knocked up quite a bit of Flux, but look at that three-person blazing duet into a maniac. Skylar, I think he was just, I don't know what it was. He was there, no escape. Just give it to him.
Lee Sunshine has come online 5-0-3. Silent but deadly. We haven't seen too much through him from the game, but that's that early in the early phase when they were able to get those kills onto Skylar. When they were able to let Sunshine just free farm and do what he wants. Now we're seeing it really start to pay off, and the damage is getting out of this world, out of control as Flux encroaches onto these inhibitors right now. Arad gets a little bit of poke damage onto Apex 47. The Lord does not get the crash. It is not enhanced. They should be able to chip this down and maybe not lose a single inhibitor. Alien holding down the front line. Flux don't have to push their limits.
Again, this is what RRQ wants to do, right? They want to make it to the late game. Securing and keeping your tier 3 inhibitors is where you need to be. Again, I think they're going to lose their second tier here. So, yeah, I mean, this is the safest position that RRQ could be in. It's just to keep it like this. They could, at this point, they have 102 seconds. Maybe Ered needs to start split pushing, kind of utilizing that. Flux at this point probably should just freeze lanes, kind of clear up all of the jungle, keep that gold lead going, and we can kind of take a look at some of the items. The Gwyn's building full defense at this point, just allowing Sunshine to scale and be the one to deal the damage here. Ooh, he was feeling it out. He had a feeling that something was about to go down there. Again, I do think that Flux keep them at bay. You can see they've already controlled the map. RQ looking for some play, maybe to try to get the purple buff. Could be a bait.
Oh, my God. And it's not only Sunshine. Did he get it? Did Irad finally get it?
I think.
Oh, no, Rosa. No, I mean, Rosa's got a purple. Rosa's got a purple.
Yeah.
Nope.
So,
no, Irad gets it. Irad gets it. Irad gets it. Finally. It's been 13 minutes of hell for Irad, and the purple has finally been secured.
I mean, that's huge. This could be a
big win.
That's play that they want to go
win.
for, right? Look at it. Okay. Look, he's the bait.
Tienzi, though, was ready for that, man, and Arad knew it. The fact that Tienzi, and you could see, like, the positioning he went for that, if Arad fully committed there, Tienzi would have caught him, and Arad knows it. Both of these junglers, I'm talking about ultra instinct on both of them right now.
Ooh, is he overstaying his welcome? Look at the collapse possibly going to happen. It's easy. Fanny can do that.
All right, so RQ sits back about 8,000 gold right now. Enhanced Lord about to come in, 14 minutes up. What do they do here?
I mean, essentially, they just need to keep the split push plays up. You can see Apex kind of up there. Right now, RQ really needs to bait and reset this Lord. Watch out for TNZ. Banana definitely avoiding it right now. Looks like they, again, I feel like Irad should be split pushing at this point just because they don't seem to want the Lord they want to pick. But RQ, maybe big play here.
They get the black shoes out of Rosa there, but Apex 47 in the backside. Alien with a big flicker penalty zone.
Oh
it's Sunshine shredding them down once again. Skylar, there's no escape. Brusco gonna be next with Sunshine able to BMI away. Apex 47 able to pick up the kill. Banana drops next. Flux taking out 3 from RRQ. They're going to try to end this. They're not even going to go for the Lord. Arad zoning down. He's going to look for waves, try to cut down the blood loss. but Fireflux isn't waiting. They don't care. All they need is one tank minion. They're going to move on to the top inhibitor. Lord, back up. Arad here, but wait a second. A lot of damage on several members. Alien getting chipped down. Arad almost able to save the day, but not today. Flux Esports still dominating. The Blazing Duet comes out to clear it up, and RRQ pushed Fireflux, while Fireflux pushed back.
Oh, man. What a play by Fireflux there. Look at him. To be honest, I think they got the crowd buff. I could, during that whole match, I heard cheers galore every time Fireflux was pushing. So it kind of seems like there might be a ton of Fireflux fans out in the crowd. But again, huge plays. The harassment by Fireflux was the key winning factor for Fireflux, and you can kind of see while we dive into some of these highlights that they just had full control and harassment over the map of RRQ. They just kept them at bay. TNZ just everywhere. Not too many responses that RRQ could utilize here. Again, a spicy fanny play, but again, Fireflux reading the situations, creating the moments that they needed to take down RRQ into game 2, and we can kind of see that Skylar, the damage, just look at it. A Blazing Duet into the back line of RRQ is not what you want, even in the front line. Sunshine just shining in Fireflux.
Yeah, you could really see the trend. And one of the things that Fireflux did so great in this game is in the beginning, TNZ was kind of the big damage dealer. He was the huge threat. And then right around that last fight and this fight here, we'll see the transition happening of Sunshine becoming the monster. Sunshine becoming the threat right after 10 minutes, getting that Maniac. And from there, RRQ Hoshi knew that there was a much bigger problem than just TNZ, a much bigger problem than just Rosa. Sunshine was the natural born killer here, and he was the downfall of RRQ in game number 2.
Definitely. And again, I mean, we did see Octa try to be the saving grace for RRQ, but the Lilia, Rosa picking it up is just too much for RRQ. And of course, we can see the MVP here. Sunshine, 606, 24% damage dealt. The absolute menace in the game that also secured a Maniac. Just a monster.
I mean, definitely very well played from him, knowing exactly when to hit his moment in stride. But you also have to give it up to the rest of his teammates as well, kind of hovering around that top side, making sure they got that early kill onto Skylar, giving Skylar just a very rough game, ending off with 2, 5, and 3, never even being able to finish out his items. And that just goes with the pressure that Fireflux caused, using Apex 47 on this Hilda, once Rosa was able to move around a bit more after the laning phase, and then TNZ as well. As long as that mid concoction there was able to disrupt the rotation of RQ Hoshi, it was a guarantee that Sunshine was going to eventually pop off.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen that. That's how Claude scales so fast. And I mean, 13,000 gold on his team. Pretty much all the turret damage pushes and almost one of the highest team fight participations on Fireflux. So again, just the mobility that Sunshine had in that game, I think is ultimately attributed to their overall aggression and just harassment. And I feel like they executed this game really well against RRQ. And now it is a 1-to-1 match point.
All right, the final day of Games of Future is not disappointing. Taking a quick look at the kills, Fireflux finished it off with 17-9, a 10,000 gold lead. Only lost 1 tower in that game. Let's take another quick matchup here. Skylar up against Rosa. Now, last time we saw Skylar be just a great player, not getting any deaths in the previous game, but this time Rosa showing that I am still a dominant player in the Land of Dawn.
100%. And then again, I think it was just the overall comp that Flux brought, right? Like it's wild because they had such a tactical play against the Fanny, being a spicy pick. Like, we don't normally get to see assassins. We're normally seeing, of course, I mean, Guinevere is kind of that assassin route as well, but being able to secure the Gwyn and being able to secure the Claude, I think were like huge drafting win factors. And then not only that, just the last phase pick on the Hilda was just like the turning point, the wild factor, because you've seen RRQ banned the Kufra, so they were anticipating that they wanted the Kufra pick, but in the back pocket, the Turkish delight, the Hilda.
I mean, there's a reason why the Guinevere is just doing so well right now, right? Because in early game, even if you start building tanky, you still have very decent damage in the laning phase in the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes or so. And you have insane movement. You have the surprise factor. I mean, Tienzi there was out-rotating a Fanny, essentially. And yes, Fanny did have Apex 47 in his face the whole time, but still, it just goes to show that I don't think that Guinevere is going to slip through the cracks again. Most likely, RQ will have first pick, so Flux will most likely be the ones banning it out, but there is a reason why it's so contested. It's just such a decent pick right now, from early game aggression, mid game control, and then even neutral objectives, helping secure Turtle, helping secure Lord. You can almost, if you can guarantee the knock-up on the enemy jungler, it makes it so much, I mean, you pretty much guarantee yourself a free retribution.
Yeah. I think a spicy play from RRQ could have, I mean, they had something planned, right? They essentially wanted to utilize the Fanny to kind of, again, have that mobility for them. But I think what ultimately, like, they already picked up the Lilia, or no, they actually went Nana, the Nana on the second pick. So they didn't anticipate the Lilia. So again, I think they should have picked up the Claude, right? Like I'm not quite sure why they allowed the Gwyn and the Claude to slip through the cracks. Because I feel like, again, the Bruno could have been the answer to it, but I think ultimately it just came down to execution of that Flux brought, right? They had to harass the Fanny, left the left and right lanes alone, and then they were able to just collapse on them while Apex harassed, and it was just an overall tough situation for RRQ to deal with. And every chance, I thought they were going to win at that Lord fight, but then Sunshine, that Blazing Duet definitely turned the tides into Flux's favor, and then the snowball started to happen, and RRQ just couldn't stop it.
You know, Claude, it's insane to think how Claude has just stuck around in the gold lane meta for so long, and he's never really been touched. He doesn't get too many nerfs or buffs, and every time before a major tournament, I think everyone always thinks, oh, this is going to be the great marksman. Oh, no, it's going to be this marksman. Oh, no, it's going to be this marksman. But somehow Claude always just ends up as one of the most picked marksmen. And it normally, because in the beginning of this tournament, in group stage, even then, he wasn't like the most picked. He wasn't the most prioed gold laner. But now as we're encroaching onto the grand finals, we're in top 3, top 4, top 6. He is that marksman once again, and it's just the mobility, the ability, especially in such a high CC meta, because he already has the BMI, the flicker pretty much built into his kit. You can opt out for the Purify, and it just works so well. And he's not only shredding down tanks, he's doing insane damage onto everybody. I mean, there's just no escape from this hero right now. I definitely agree with you. I think if he's on the field, you need to pick him up, and that was maybe the downfall. That was maybe one of the huge losses for RQ there.
Yeah, I definitely felt like that was the little bit of a drafting problem right there, is that, like, ultimately, to be honest, I'd rather deal with a Ruby than a Guinevere or even a Claude. So, yeah, again, kind of letting that utility out might have, and it could have been that them banning it was one of the the decision factors by Fireflux to pick up the Hilda. If they would have maybe banned out like the Claude or even the Guinevere, it could have forced them to go the Ruby route instead of the Hilda. And then the Fanny, again, the Ruby is still such a clutch pick because it can interrupt those assassin dashes and dives and what Fanny has to offer. But again, I think it was just ultimately there's just so many great heroes right now in the meta that it's hard to predict and ban everything. And again, it just goes to show that this is, I want to say, to be honest, like one of the most diverse metas we've seen. You don't know what a team is going to pick or play. And when they do it, they have a mindset and just something ready.
They definitely need something ready now. It's match point for both teams. And I still give it, RRQ controlled game number 1 so well. Even though Fireflux was kind of winning a little bit in the laning phase, RRQ still had map control. They still had macro. They still felt like they just had their hands on the wheel the whole game. We come into game 2 and Fireflux seemed to do the same exact thing to RRQ. So I think it's everything from draft to in-game to all of it. Draft is definitely going to be important, and it might not be the time to get spicy here, right? It might not be the time for anything too crazy. It might be the time to keep it basic. Don't let anything too crazy through. Don't let the Guinevere through. You know, some of these very powerhouse picks right now, and just try to beat them with the same way that RQ beat them in game 1. Maybe put a very quick moving EXP laner in, put Banana on something he's very comfortable with, and just try to control the map.
Yeah. And again, I believe RRQ is really good at coming back from something like this. So again, even though that they are down, they had this draft wasn't the best, and Fireflux was able to counter the draft that they picked. They are going to be the ones that are going to be first picking this time around. So again, I feel like this is the time that they'll be able to, you know, reflect on what happened last match and kind of come up with a plan of action to control Fireflux. Fireflux, to be honest, like they could just keep doing what they're doing, right? Like that, you kind of said that, you know, RRQ was, you know, controlling a little bit of the first match, but I think, you know, Fireflux was doing a good job at fighting back and, you know, just slinging punches as well, you know? So I think Fireflux could just keep what they're doing. If there's an assassin hero into play, keep up the harassment, maybe fight mobility. Again, Bennett, there was just so many options that could have been a factor and could have been played that it's really hard to ultimately break it down just because it was just such a clutch game there by both sides. Both drafts were definitely grand finals worthy, you know, even though it's the third place.
So with that being said, I know in the beginning you felt like RQ was the favorite. Who do you got on game number 3?
I still think RRQ would be the favorite, and it looks like they're not first pick this time around. I don't know if it's something they get to decide, but it looks like they are second pick again. So I know in a lot of internationals, the loser gets to pick a lot of the time.
To decide. I don't know if it's I don't know the exact format on this.
It's been a little
while. We do normally see them
so.
switch, but I think so. Either every team has been favoring blue, and that's why they've been switching nonstop.
Yeah.
Or maybe it has been loser picks, and this time RQ is like, no, we want second pick. They do ban out the Guinevere.
The Claude?
Pretty quick.
Okay.
Hopefully this isn't
going to be a whole different game.
We're going to play it real. Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be a whole different game this time around. I mean, the Matilda is still available. They still have the Arlot, the Ruby. So, again, one of those are probably going to be sneaking through the go here. So, we might see maybe they bait the Matilda out for Fireflux, force them into that first pick, so then they could utilize something a little bit different on the RRQ comp, or they could vice versa. You never know. I mean, they could be banning out the Lilia instead. I mean, they definitely didn't like that on the field, and it was such a great counter to the Nana. But Fireflux going for the Joy ban. We've been seeing the Joy ban quite a bit. We didn't see it in the first match, but definitely the second and now the third. And this is match point.
Yeah, I mean, everything's on the line here. I think it's 120 grand on the line right here. So even though it's just a third place match, quote unquote, it's still a big thing for both of these teams, especially a team like Fireflux, who hasn't, has never gotten this far in an international event. Even in previous years, they've gone from top 8 to top 5, things like that, but never been able to really push the limits, and that's where they're at right now. RRQ is not going to ban out the Ruby this time as their third ban. Opted for that Gwynny and still keeping the Matilda and Barat. So Apex 47 going to quickly yoink that up. RRQ Hoshi now, quick to response. Last time, what was their last first 2 picks? It was the Nana and the Minotaur. They could honestly still go for something like that. I think it could fit here.
Yeah. I mean, they pick up the Minnow quite a bit. Maybe, again, the R lot is still on the field, so I'm not quite sure how comfortable they are with utilizing the R lot, but could be a good thing. Picking up the Nathan. I did feel like that they need to load Skylar up first because he just seemed like he was having a little bit of a difficult time. There's the R lot, so I like it. This is a very tactical approach. Again, has the sustainability to work with, depending on because it's Flex Hero too. It could either go Roam or it could go EXP. So, I mean, and it is in Banana's hands, but could still be swapped around. So I feel like that's something we got to keep on our mind.
Yeah, it's definitely possible it could be a Roam. It's definitely possible it could be an EXP. And we know RRQ Hoshi thinks very highly of this R-Lot. They've banned it the past 2 games. And it's been a solid pick so far in games of future. And with the range that it has with the final slash, you can kind of displace this Ruby if you need to, right? Without getting close. And a lot of heroes have trouble with that, right? A lot of heroes have trouble getting CC onto Ruby because Ruby's so good at just stopping that. But TNZ gonna pick up the Nolan here. So we're looking at early game aggression from TNZ. TNZ, we saw it last time on the Gwynny, but this time you're not going to build tanky on a Nolan. You're going to commit from beginning of the game to the very end.
And I feel like you need an assassin type hero like that to be able to possibly catch Skylar, right? And again, we could be seeing some type of EXP being picked up maybe by Fireflux. Could be a CC. Again, RRQ could flex this R-Lot into the Roam slot and pick up CC to be able to have that front line. I do feel like they need to build that front line for the Nathan. And that's why Sunshine picked up the carry, right? Right away, the Phoveus, though.
Oh.
Is that
insta pick?
Mid lane EXP? I mean,
mid lane EXP,
anywhere.
Roam, wherever you want to put him, wherever you want. I think he could actually. You might want to. I mean, I think Roam or mid might actually be pretty viable, just because you really want him to be on TNZ as soon as possible. You want him to be involved as soon as possible. The only problem is if you put him in mid and you put him up against Rosa with something that's going to have insane wave clear, could be dangerous. EXP lane might be the best slot for him. But either way, I mean, they have... So R-Lot Roam, Phoveus, EXP, either one. Get real crazy. R-Lot Roam, Phoveus mid.
Oh, God. That's a wild.
They have the magic damage. They have the magic damage with the Natan in the gold lane. So really, not picking up an insane burst mage, even a big loss.
Yeah, I mean, they could either, again, go Aurora, or they could go Vexana. So could Fireflux, though. I mean, both of those options are still available for both sides. They do need a little bit of crowd control on the side of Fireflux because the Ruby's there, but I feel like it's like slight displacement and slow instead of full CC. Though the I'm Offended can definitely be utilized to catch maybe some of the team of RRQ, but again, they're going to be sustainable. RRQ is looking to sustain in fights, and I feel like that's what they need, and they were lacking in some of these other team fights that Fireflux was coming with.
The last time Fireflux picked up this Nolan, They had a very similar enemy. They went up against Burn X Flash. They went up against the Phoveus. They picked up the X-Borg, which is a good answer to the Phoveus, especially if it ends up being EXP lane versus EXP lane, because X-Borg just chips. He never has to dash. He constantly just moves and kites. And it's just a solid answer overall, especially if RRQ Hoshi decide to go on something bulkier in the jungle here. So that's definitely something we could be seeing from the side of Fireflux here. With Vexana banned out now, we still need Mage. You said it earlier, Roar is still open. Other than that, man, we're running out of ideas for mid lane. I think RRQ Hoshi might have to put Phoveus on mid at this point. Go. Oh my God, I was right. Wait. Rome Arlot.
Mid Phoveus.
Mid Phoveus, or maybe it's gonna be jungle Phoveus.
Could. I mean, that's
could be
wild.
jungle Phove or jungle Natan. I have no clue.
It could be jungle anything.
They're all over the place right now. You got 3 fighters and Natan on the field right now. Jungle Phoveus could happen. I just think it's kind of slow. Spicy. Fireflux needs 2 picks now. I think X-Borg might be the way to go here.
X-Borg? Yeah. I mean, X-Borg could be a good EXP. I mean, they could even rock the Terizla again. They just need something a little bit tankier. Again, Rosa picking up the Aurora. I mean, that's CC that they needed, right? Like, paired that with the Ruby, and then
Ruby EXP.
They go, yeah, so great flex. I like that. You were saying this on previous games. Be available to flex that Ruby if need be. So baiting the Tigreal until the end. Wow.
Because here's the thing, where did they lose last time when they picked up the Benedetta? The problem was that when Ruby was the roam for Fireflux, Ruby was not able to peel or protect Sunshine or Rosa. This time, Alien's going to be able to hold Apex 47 is going to be able to hold the front line with that Tig, and Ruby can kind of play the mid of her team a bit more, kind of rotate from the front line to the back line and be able to stop them. But they're 4 fighters. They finally locked in a Martis for the side of RRQ. This looks like a Knights of Fate from like NACT. This looks like a Knights of Fate composition from NACT like last season or 2 seasons ago. 4 fighters and a marksman. RRQ risking it all at match point. Definitely not the most down-to-earth composition. They do have counters. They do have answers. But is this, this abnormal draft going to really work? Is it going to be glued together enough?
I would hope, and I feel like this is what we're going to have to figure out coming into this match. Again, I think it's another wild draft by RRQ and a little bit more of a straightforward one by Fireflux. So, again, do they get out draft because of this wild pick? Maybe meta setters. I mean, 4 fighters is quite wild into this comp. Again, Fireflux. I mean, they're looking good from my opinion, and I kind of was rocking the RRQ, but I think right now I'm gonna go back to textbook and I'm gonna just say Fireflux is kind of winning this one right now.
Fireflux's draft is definitely the more normality, right? It's textbook. Yeah. It's simple. We did not get crazy for match point. We did not get crazy for 120 grand. RRQ, I think RRQ, all right, if they want to do this, we're going to have to try to beat them down with something a little bit different. They do have rotation. They do have the surprise factor here. They have aggression. You have the Benedetta to be able to get to the back line. You have a lot of answers. The question is are those answers going to mesh well together? There's a reason why you have a mage. There's a reason why you have a marksman. There's a reason why you have a roam and all of these different heroes meant for their roles. but RRQ trying to break the boundary, and that was a new entrance to the land of Dawn there. We haven't seen that one yet. Coming in from the top of the chessboard, RRQ up against Fire, Flux, Esports, one match to rule them all, and Brusco all ready to get an aggressive.
Ooh, did he get it or not? Apex, though, also with the aggression.
Ooh. Gonna walk right into Brusco there. Brusco able to get the first blood.
That's huge. That's huge. Now, kind of breaking some things down. We see the R-Lots on the roam. Phoveus is in the mid. And, I mean, again, could be a good play here. I feel like RRQ, what they really need to do is do what they're doing right now. Just keep the harass up. Harass TNZ. Do exactly what Fireflux did to you, RRQ. Now, the side of Fireflux, they got to keep RRQ at bay at this point. They have the mobility. They have the Martis. So RRQ's looking for that early game, the snowball. So Fireflux, if they can stop that, keep them at bay, I think that's their win conditions here in the early stage.
I do want to say that when it comes to first turtle, RRQ might have the advantage here. With so many fighters, fighters are going to kind of have a nice early game punch. They're going to have a nice early game spike. You have this Martis. You have plenty of CC on the side of RRQ. Fireflux might want to fight elsewhere unless TNZ wants to go for kind of a cheeky steal here. Rosa still hasn't hit level 4 yet. May not have it for the first turtle.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I am seeing here is we have a lot of purifies picked up by RRQ, right? So they're looking to get out of Rosa's sets. They're looking to get out of Apex's sets. Same with Alien. I mean, there's just so many opportunities that they could get caught. RRQ looking to take this first turtle, though. Able to secure it with no problem. Apex in trouble.
TNZ doesn't even go for it. Knows that it's, nope, we're not even going to try that. They got 4 big boys sitting around the turtle right now. Yeah, and I think it's a smart play. I think Fireflux needs to focus on the off lanes right now. Ooh. Wait a second. Apex47 get in trouble once again, and Skylar flickers in, picks up the kill there. Right back to base. How did he do that? The man is a mad Cole. Ends up in gold lane in a matter of seconds, but comes in just quick enough to find that kill.
Rosa's reaction speed is just too much. Flickering out of that, being able to dodge 2 of RRQ is huge. Again, I think they do need to put some pressure onto Rosa. I like the lane clear. TNZ able to steal the lethal wander there. That's huge. Again, we need to see the scaling by Erad. So next turtle might be falling into there. Skylar, I think he's doing pretty well in his lane, right? He's already 1-0-0. He's got a little bit of an advantage on Sunshine, but again, that goes to show that the carry is that late game hero in the marksman lane. So we're looking at early stage snowballing by RRQ and a little bit of a late game for Fireflux. I feel like that's what they're going to be aiming for.
Yeah, Fireflux needs to find some momentum, though. I think if Skylar is able to just farm freely here, then Natan is going to be a problem. This is like funneling at its best. It's like old school fighter off lane. You know, they're just going to pocket around Skylar here. You're going to have 4 fighters sitting around Skylar as he sits in the middle of this team, just causing mayhem, and Fireflux is going to have trouble finding a way to break through. Apex47 able to land the implosion and get the knock up onto Arad and Brusco. Rosa looking for the Glacier, able to get the freeze on Brusco, and TNZ picks up the kill, but now Apex in trouble. Target locked from Octa with the demonic force, able to find Apex47 there. Another turtle should go over the side of RRQ, but Alien doesn't want to let it happen. TNZ also making his way in with the dash, looking for the damage. A nice stun, and TNZ able to find it. Now TNZ on to the next target. RQ forced to back off.
This is the aggression that we needed to see from Fireflux, right? Like, you were looking for it, and they wanted still more.
Whoa! Erad able to just get away, but TNZ takes the purple. That's what I like to see from Fireflux. Like you said, finally answering back and evening the gold.
All I can say is that Fireflux, they always seem to somehow gain control over the jungle and keep them at bay. Kind of looking at some items, we see penetration being picked up by Rosa, so going to be dealing a decent bit of damage here. We also do see TNZ picking up the Blade of Hep there, and that is the early game pressure, but look at this.
The pushback from Apex47. Brusco in trouble, gonna get taken out. Sunshine picking up the kill. Now matching Skylar 1-0-1. Fireflux finding momentum at 5 minutes. Everyone's got their first items locked in, and that's when they knew they could strike.
I'm so surprised that they didn't attempt to engage in that, but hey, again, just take it slow is what it seems like RRQ's plan, even though I feel like they need to maybe engage a little bit more and take some riskier plays here. They do have a Martis on their hands, so we'll see. It might be all up to Skylar at this point.
Ooh, you can tell Apex is searching right now. He's hunting for that implosion. He's protecting Sunshine here. He knows what RRQ's trying to do. Sunshine playing it safe as well. I think Fireflux knows this. As long as we don't fall really behind here, we're kind of winning. Because eventually this 4-man fighter comp could fall off. Rosa in a little bit of trouble though. Arad gonna be able to pick up the kill there. One more hit. No! Rosa gets away. Apex saves the day. Octa gonna move on to him, and even if he goes down, but no, Arad still finds it. 2 kills, a double for Arad. TNZ should be able to get him as well. Coming back, but now TNZ in trouble. Brusco and Banana on the hunt, but TNZ gets back to base safely. Speedy Light Wheel comes out from Sunshine. Banana gonna be able to walk out of the jungle safely, but RQ Hoshi crack the mid-tier 3.
They crack that and the bottom tier, so they took two turrets and were able to secure 2 kills there. They did lose 1 on their side, so I think that's a win on their part. Taking out that mid turret, and look, they're already engaging onto the blue buff onto TNZ, while also the turtle is here. My guess is that looks like Skylar was able to take that blue buff. So again, neutral objective securing on RRQ side is just insane right now.
Ooh, Rad able to get the turtle.
There it is.
Brusco though dashes in. The rest of RQ trying to enclose onto him. Alien in trouble as well, dashing away the Nonic Force, keeps on finding him. Another shot. Octa looking for one more. RQ Hoshi though decides to back off, not going to overcommit. They got the turtle, putting on more pressure and able to secure it.
I thought Sunshine was maybe going to have a little bit of a flank play, but Skylar!
TNZ finally catches him lacking in the bot lane. Brusco gonna try to come in. TNZ might be lacking himself here. Octa wants to lock on. TNZ scared to use a dash. Octa doesn't have the demonic force, though. TNZ knows it now. He knows he's going to be able to get away safely. Alien here to help out. Rosa coming in, but up at the top side. Sunshine finds Banana. Brusco going to get frozen. Alien causing some mayhem. And here comes Arad. It's a slugfest, boys and girls, and they're ready to fight, put on a show for us. Alien taking a little bit of damage. Octa with the demonic force. Apex waiting, sidestep, step, looking for a possible strike here, but Alien going to go down. Apex47 doesn't have the implosion to fight there.
I mean, this is just blows by blows from both sides at this point. Right now, Fireflux definitely fighting back, taking picks where they can. If RQ really needs to focus on Sunshine at this point, like the scaling on the carry is going to be dangerous paired with Apex. Apex has just come in clutch. And so is Alien. To be honest, like TNZ has been able to escape situations that he normally shouldn't be able to. The final slash by Brusco going wide sometimes. So again, these little mistakes are playing into Fireflux's favor.
Most definitely. I mean, Fireflux, yeah, and as long as RQ is not extremely ahead of them, I still feel like Fireflux has the better late game here. They have answers to RQ just like RQ's answers to them. And the thing about RQ's composition here is with all of these fighters, with the way that Skylar kind of wants to play, RQ Hoshi is going to be forced to kind of group up here and there. And that's going to give advantage to Apex47. It's going to advantage. Oh my God!
Oh.
TNZ! Time after time, he's pulling a banana right now, hanging out of the backside. It's okay if he goes down, but he wants to sidestep. He goes down to the decimation. Arad able to pick up the kill with no retribution. That could be bad for Fireflux, though. Lord is still on the map. The rest of Fireflux going to have to pick up the pieces that Tienzi left for them. Sunshine able to get some huge freeze and outplays. Gets the play.
Oh.
3 members down on the side of RRQ. Hoshi, Arad now going up against Alien, but he's not going to be able to get away. Rosa comes in and takes him out. That's 4 down for RRQ. Skylar finally back on the map, but Fireflux taking control.
Fireflux is looking just like AP.Bren at this point. Every time the first Lord's coming up, they're just gaining so much ground. And being able to secure this first Lord and taking 4 of RRQ is going to be troublesome for RRQ. Again, you got to give it up to Apex. Apex paired with Rosa with that frigid glacier and the implosion was just too much for RRQ to take.
The Ultra instinct is real right now for Rosa. Brusco now in trouble as well. Rosa put another kill into the pocket. Fireflux relentlessly advancing right now. Not looking to give RQ any time to breathe.
Yeah, this is rough. RRQ really needed that snowball early on to be able to scale. Again, Octa doesn't have a death. It's kind of looking like just like last match. Octa's going to have to start popping off as well. Tienzi just keeps finding Skylar. So I feel like if RRQ wants to stay in this game, Skylar is going to have to stop getting caught by Tienzi.
Yeah, but Fireflux, man, they're going to take all tier 2s. Lord won't get the crash, but we're looking very similar to game number 2. Fireflux breaks it down to nothing but inhibitors on the first Lord. RQ Hoshi, man. It's like, who do they even go for? Because they got to worry about Tienzi. They got to worry about Sunshine now. They have to worry about Rosa. It's a tough call, and they have the players that can kind of pick people off, but if they split up too much, they get taken down. And if they group up too much, they have to worry about the implosion and the I'm offended and the glacier.
Yeah, right now I feel like RRQ really just needs to. They have the Benedetta. I like what their approach is now. Do some split pushing. Where's that tactical, positioning that we've seen from Banana in the first game? I feel like with that, with baiting out utility from Fireflux before full frontal engages, RRQ could turn this around, but they have to do that. They keep running into every ultimate that Fireflux has face first and they just think they're not going to have any repercussions.
Yeah, I will say this is the difference. One of the differences between the time that we saw Banana able to do that was exactly what we said when we saw the draft is this time they have the Tigreal on Apex 47 and they have Alien in the back line and they have Rosa also kind of protecting Sunshine here. So it's very tough for Banana to find any kind of angle here. This time, Fireflux are the hunters, man. I think they just have that card. Banana's not going to be able to do what he did last time.
I feel like the communication right now from Fireflux, they've kind of read the map at this point. They know that Banana's just kind of, they don't know where he's at, but they have an anticipation that he's in this bush, and Apex is watching it with a passion, and they found it. This is going to be a little tough situation here. Do they go for it? Conceal play.
Conceal play comes in. But not today, Banana. Not today. Taken out. That's going to be a big advantage for this Lord. But RQ isn't going to let it stop him. Alien way as Alien tries to zone out Arad. Just keep him backed up. Fireflux going to change pace. Tienzi moving position. Taking a lock onto the purple buff. Back to Lord now. Waiting for the rest of the team to come in. A nice reset to buy the team some sunshine. Speedy light wheel. Deletes him down. Skylar forced the entropy back instead of forward. RQ got to go running back to the bases. Fireflux takes another Lord.
Man, the passion that they've had from last game, bringing it into this game, RQ definitely seems to be down in the dumps, and Fireflux are just, they are roaring and ready and on fire at this point. Another Lord going to be barreling down RRQ's lane. Kind of taking a look at some of the items again. I mean, Nathan's almost online, but Sunshine is just overall controlling the damage at this point, fully built for this next Lord push. I think RRQ, they can defend it. All of them are alive. They still have all of their tier 3s. But again, this is going to be an enhanced Lord. It will crash into a tower and the base will be broken open. And Fireflux looking to take as much as they possibly can here, Trex.
All right, let's see how they do this. Lord going to be a little delayed on the bot side as Fireflux pushes in on the mid and top. Waiting for that connection. Fireflux going to continue to chip things away. RQ Hoshi position themselves behind the bottom inhibitor. They're going to try to chip down the Lord. Lord's taking a step backward, forced to go after that minion. A slight mishap. Not able to get the full push in. Skylar able to melt it down. Fireflux have broken one. Look at for Alien coming around the backside for the I'm offended. Rad goes down. The Glacier falls onto 2. Fireflux looking for more damage. Rosa does fall though as Fireflux continues to look for more members. Brusco going to be the next one. Skylar keeping a nice range and doing good chip damage, keeping Fireflux out of the base. It's a 2-for-1 plus an inhibitor over to the side of Fireflux.
Fireflux once again coming out on top. A lot of like immortalities were baited out of Fireflux, so RQ possibly looking for some type of an advantage. I like it. I mean, they're attempting to maybe make a play on the left lane. Again, I mean, they're having a tough time here. If they're able to shut down Sunshine and maybe keep TNZ at bay, that could be their win conditions, but you can already see he's feeling out the zone. RQ pushed back against the wall. Will they become the predator or will they become the prey?
Definitely the question on all of our minds. With the 8,000 gold lead, it's going to be very, very tough for RQ to withstand this. They had a composition that kind of needed to snowball, that in my eyes would eventually fall off. I felt like RQ might have had the early game, and then eventually there would be this tipping scale by not having a huge bursting mage, by not having, you know, a bursty jungle or even actually a utility jungle. Because the thing about Artis is it's utility and it has this great early game snowball effect, but it is not super viable at 20, 21, 22 minutes in. And that's the territory we're getting to right now. And Fireflux has already reached the point that they need to.
Sunshine.
Conceal play though.
No!
Rad Octa not able to find anything. Sunshine able to sidestep and get away. All RQ is able to do is reset the Lord of Tienzi. Gets the I'm offended onto Brusco there. RQ still holding the distance. They are bulky enough to take some shots to the face. Does look like they're going to send Banana back to the bottom lane, clear the wave. RQ not giving up just yet. I think they know this is their chance. Arad has to pull a rabbit out of a hat here. Has to do something crazy if they want to survive.
Yeah, and they know that they're not going to engage here. TNZ now stacking up the red and the purple. They've just baited out a decent amount from RRQ Hoshi. They just don't have the conceal play. Skylar's ultimate's down. And again, I mean, just a little bit of this bait is what they need. Apex is just so good at finding everyone. He just can read the map so well against RRQ.
And keep our eyes on TNZ as well, hiding out in this bush. He's going to go clear the waves. Banana finally looking for a position into the backside. No eyes on Banana just yet. Going to come down to, does RQ even want to really, I feel like you mentioned earlier, they need to try to find an angle, and they're just coming at Fireflux head on. Maybe looking for a bait, maybe looking for someone to overstep, but Fireflux is not taking that risk. They're not taking that step at all. They're going to start chunking in onto this Lord now. Rad still kind of playing the fiddle here. Back and forth. Fireflux not fully committing either. We're about 2 minutes in onto this Lord dance. Alien finally gets a lock on onto Arad. Arad still able to back up. Back and forth they go, G.
Yeah, they're burning the Lord now. Keep them at bay. Can Erad get in there? They can't.
No.
A conceal play.
Oh, but Bruce going to the backside with a final slash. A huge implosion, though, onto 2 members. Sunshine taking a lot of damage. Banana trying to lock on, and in comes Octa. Pops that immortality onto Sunshine. Still looking for a finish. Skylar flickers in and finds the kill. RQ finally doing something major here. Find a kill. Arad, though, taking a little bit too much. Fireflux response by finding the jungler from RQ Hoshi. RQ back to base now. It's 4 against 4. They lost the Lord, they find Sunshine, and they lose Arad. Do you think it's a good trade for RRQ?
I mean, I think so, right? This is a little bit of the breathing room they needed. I mean, 21 seconds until Sunshine comes back. Again, not having your marksman for a Lord push is going to be rough. They have TNZ, so they still have damage, but I think they're lacking just a little bit, and I think RRQ can breathe once again.
TNZ in trouble. TNZ in trouble. Demonic Force locked on. They're trying to slow him down.
Ooh.
The sidestep. TNZ with the flare, the flicker, the dash, the moves and the grooves. Octa, not today, sir. But RRQ does do that perfectly. We still got to give it to them. They're able to melt down the Lord and survive another one, and the freeze comes on to Octa. Shut down for Sunshine. I love it. This is what we came here for. It's match point still, and you can't tell exactly who's going to win.
TNZ was dancing on Octa right there. That was such a good play by TNZ, able to dodge every single play.
Whoa.
But another one happening.
Alien comes in with a big I'm offended on Brusco. Apex 47 taking a bit too much damage. The Glacier comes down. The freeze, the frozen, eradicated. Now Apex 47 goes down. Skylar able to unload. A big suppression on TNZ. TNZ still on the map, but Skylar finally finds him. Skylar goes down. No, Skylar's still up. Brusco drops 3 for 2. Alien melted down. The damage from Skylar is finally there. We're 21 minutes in, and Fireflux finally has to be careful about how they intrude on RRQ's base.
Man, this is definitely a do or die situation for both teams. Match point, kind of look at some of these plays that happened here. We've seen Brewski go into the back line. Immortality popped, but does fall to Alien. And we see that Skylar with the triple kill, able to take out all 3 of Fireflux to secure that triple kill. Huge for RRQ. Again, they were able to properly defend that Lord, take quite a bit from Fireflux, and now have that late game control. Even though Octa was, I feel like the play that Octa did was kind of just to give RRQ more breathing room, right? Again, I like it. TNZ wasn't able to, push the Lord. Now RRQ looking to take the Lord.
Yeah, they're not wasting any time at Apex with the conceal play, looking for a rat here, just trying to zone him back. He gets the implosion. Damage still not there. TNZ in trouble. Brusco's locked onto him. Petrify onto Sunshine. Sunshine forced to run away. Banana might be able to catch him here. Eye for an eye. Sunshine back and forth, looking for the outplay here. Banana goes down, still has the immortality. RQ forced to go back to base because minions are closing in. Alien look the lockdown onto Brusco here. Brusco looking for the outplay himself. The man is gone though. Alien finds the kill. 2 members of RQ Hoshi down. Fireflux could take a free Lord.
Yeah, great play by the Sentry there. Definitely shows quite a bit of Fireflux out. Oh no!
Nice freeze, lands onto a rat. If they get a rat out here, that's it. Immortality pops.
Jeez.
1 more hit and no retribution for the side of RRQ. It's a 60-second death counter. We're 23 minutes in where every second counts. But Skylar finds Rosa. The damage from Skylar right now, he is their only hope. Can they defend 1 more Lord push? Can they turn the tables?
I mean, they definitely need Rosa at this point, and you can kind of see they're baiting the Lord, trying to allow the time to tick down onto Rosa. They need a full team push to go here. I still don't know if Rosa is going to be there. I think they were waiting for that wave of minions to come out, so the Lord didn't come out with the minions, and that does give them a little bit of time. If they're able to hold this out, this could be the final push. RQ looking to hold on. This is such a tough play. We got to say that Skylar definitely has the damage. No boots are available. Sold everything there. So as well as on Sunshine. Whoo! RQ.
Yep.
Are you going to become the Predator?
We'll see. Can the King of Kings take down Fireflux here? Fireflux looking to make a name for themselves, continuing to build the hype around Turkey. But look at the melting onto Skylar there. Are we going to go another Lord? Alien getting chipped away. Fireflux cannot enter the house of RRQ right now. They're going to need to find a play elsewhere. Chokehold is too much to deal with. The damage of Skylar is unleashed right now. Fireflux backing off.
I mean, this is kind of leading into RRQ's position. I do like the play that Fireflux is trying to do. Get RRQ out of the base. We need to make plays, and mortalities are there. You have 3 of them picked up by Fireflux. They just need one key play. If they're able to capture Skylar, that is going to be the fall of RRQ. But man, what a defense that they are playing, and I am offended not able to utilize the retry comes out onto Alien, but again, just not enough. They're trying to get something here.
Yeah, they want Irad, man. Irad has to be more careful. If he gets taken out, they need that retribution, right? And Irad has a wonderful retribution. As long as he can gain position, he can compete for the 50-50, right? He can definitely compete for it and come out on top of it a lot. The problem is he hasn't been able to step into the Lord Pit. But now we're at a point where RQ Hoshi has scaled. I'll swallow my words because right now they have a decent late game. It's still tough for them, though, to find the right positions. And if Irad gets caught off, they're not going to be able to compete for Lords.
It is true. And I feel like and it's kind of hard for RRQ right now to make a backdoor play, right? Just because the turrets are there, but if they're able to get a team wipe, I feel like that could be a play, right? The turrets won't even matter this far into the game. We're looking at somewhere around like 70-second death penalties. So that is why so many immortalities are being picked up by both sides. And I feel like they're trying to bait it out so that they all have immortalities. Rosa picking up rapid boots, by the way. Keep an eye on that. They want to be quick. They want to be able to rotate. I feel like they're just there to CC at this point because they're going to allow Sunshine to scale here. TNZ kind of controlling a little bit of the right of the map. Now, the biggest thing that RRQ is facing is that the minions are just so much stronger for Fireflux, and that just goes to show that having all of your inhibitors down is a tough play, a tough thing to deal with.
Oh, Rad's about to walk into Apex. That's a lot of damage.
Oh,
no, not like this.
Oh, God.
Immortality drops. Irad will not be able to escape this one. Wait, maybe he will. He's back into it. One more hit. No, Alien finds him. Brusco going to be the next to drop. Does still have an immortality up. Able to back up Skylar. Looking for an escape here. They're trying to collapse onto him. Fireflux looking for the next target. Oxa drops next. RQ Hoshi losing members by the second. Immortality pops for Banana. Fireflux now finally on top of this game. Skylar's still up, though. There's still damage to be reckoned with. Can he make the miracle play here? Fireflux looking to claim a victory here. They moved on to the base, and that is it. A new era for Turkey. A new team on top of the pendulum. Fireflux looking to make a name for themselves, and today they have done it.
Turkey, man, what a game. They showed that they've come to play, taking out Blacklist International, and now taking out RRQ. That is a region you don't want to just throw under the bus. They are here to fight. Again, able to secure that third place spot, but what a battle it was.
You know, it's kind of bittersweet, right? We take a look at Rosa and the team members. I mean, they have to be happy to win, but also there's still the salt of yesterday's loss in their veins right now. You know, it's like, yeah, we got third place, but we wanted more from that. It just shows how hungry this team is to be a champion. But still, a third place win at an international event with some of the greatest teams in the world is huge for Fireflux. I don't think we can take anything away from them here. They have slowly gone up and up and up on the tier list, earning respect from everyone around.
Yeah, and again, it was such a well-played match. RRQ not wanting to give up. There could have been moments where the tide was definitely turned into their favor, but Fireflux just pushing a high-tier team back against the wall non-stop. Again, I felt like their draft, their overall plays are very textbook, and it goes to show that if you remember the foundations, you'll be able to win. And Fireflux just, whew, third place, but hey, you came to fight in a huge tournament, the Digital Games of the future. Wow.
Great game. Let's take a look at these highlights, though. G, take us through them.
Yeah, I mean, just in the early stages, I mean, we're already at the 9-minute mark highlights, and the implosions were just coming out. Paired with Rosa. Rosa just was, man, that you just couldn't stop Rosa at this point. Paired with Sunshine as well. You can kind of see the conceal plays. They were not allowing Banana to do what they did in the first match, and they've come to fight. We can kind of see Flux just sieging RRQ left and right, taking lives as much as they could. The micro plays by Flux came out on top. RRQ, they did clap back a little bit though. Flux, again, they just had towers and positioning that was key for them. And RRQ just kept frontal facing and taking everything Flux had to the face. And I felt like that was a little bit of a rough play for him, and Flux just kept the pressure up.
And this was a moment that Skylar finally kind of came online here. This is when a little bit of fear came into the blood of Flux. Skylar was able to bide enough time and almost take control of this game again. But I think the real people we got to keep our eyes on here for Flux is Alien and Apex47. Just did such a great job at stopping all the dives from RQ, completely protecting Sunshine and Rosa, able to let them do what they needed to do. Anytime Brusco, anytime Banana, anytime anyone, anywhere tried to get to the back line, Apex and Alien were there to slow them down, to push them out of the way, to stall for just enough time. And this was the final nail in the coffin here. Flux catches a rad first, and then the rest of RQ falls one by one.
Yeah, and again, Flux, they're third place, but they are so happy. Like, this is an achievement, right? Like, you weren't able to get first, you weren't able to get second, but you were essentially the dark horse in the Digital Games of the future, and you've shown that you came here with the fire and the passion to take out top teams in the C region, in the international stage, and it is good to see Sunshine shining once again into the third match point here. 818, 21% damage. We've constantly said that the carry was a rough play, but in the hands of the right person and scaling like Flux did, they've come out on the top.
Yep, even Sunshine shines on a carry every other day. I mean, definitely just did well here. Overall, an amazing play. MVP for Sunshine there, 8-1-8. The whole team, I feel like this is a game where everyone on Flux did their job, and it was the same thing on game 2. When Flux gets that momentum, when they're able to all work together and everyone kind of achieve their major role on the team, they play so well. And RQ takes the risk in game number 3, putting together a composition that was pretty questionable overall, and ended up that Flux gets the win because of it.
Man, I feel like RQ took 2 risks. I mean, that was a lot of fighters. The Fanny was a slight risk. And I mean, Flux just, they made RQ make mistakes, and they just took advantage of it. And 2-1, Flux taking third place. This was huge for them. And I mean, kind of taking a look at some of the stats here, 13 kills versus 25, 56 assists. And look at the goal difference. My God.
Monstrous. And one last matchup between Skylar and Rosa. 5 to 6 kills, 3 to 2 deaths. Assists by Rosa, 16. And though Skylar was eventually able to output the goals, like get enough gold in to really just fuel himself, it was far a little too late, not enough for the side of RQ. So Flux will be our third place placeholders for the games of future. And the series did not disappoint at all. It went the whole way. The farther and farther we've gotten into this bracket, the games have got more and more exciting. And I mean, if that's just any kind of a foretell of what's to come, then we are going to have one hell of a grand finals.
Everybody is definitely waiting for the grand finals. And I mean, it's the grand finals of the digital games, but it's also a rematch in the making. This is definitely going to be insane. We'll toss you guys to a video here. This is a really cool background, though. We'll see you guys in a second.
Карта, просто невероятные эмоции. AP.Bren, красавчик. ONIC поздравляет 2-1. Выгрызли себе эту победу.
I think it's been like 4 years since I joined to ONIC, and we built our team together with my friends.